one.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your favorite story that is ongoing. You've seen television shows, you've seen films, movies, but you've not seen Wayfarers Episode 9, because it's happening right now. My name is Jimothy Stubblebubble, and our story is being led by the Goblin King Stumpy Joseph, and the team Mendax, the Righteous Rogue, Nigel, the Bold and Broad Wizard, and Carl, the Kinku, the Barbarian. Gomer Venom's on production, and our story continues.
Okie dokie, alrighty-o. Awesome. I hope everyone has had an awesome last 2 weeks. It feels like, man, it really does feel like we do this way more. Like, it feels like we just had an episode, and it also feels like it's been months since the last one. It's the weirdest feeling. I don't know if you guys feel like that too, but every week comes up and it goes, oh my god, I gotta make sure I'm prepped for D&D this week. I gotta make sure these guys got some fun stuff to do. But we do have some stuff this week for sure. So welcome back, Pig and Ash and Neuro. Great to see you guys. Hopefully your week has been good. Everyone's staying safe and healthy. But yeah, where did we leave off last time, guys? Who would like to give the little synopsis? Anybody got a good memory?
Test. Are we good? Okay, I was.
Are we good?
I was muted.
Oh,
Timothy
no.
was muted. Yes, it can be fixed.
Okay.
So last time on Dragon Ball Z, what we did was we rested. We defeated the Brood Mother, the very large spider who is causing all manner of problems for the town. We met with the townspeople. They gave us claps and cheers and a lot of milk. People got drunk. There was a bathtub scene. I met with a druid named Nivella, and actually, Nigel, if I may make a comment to you.
Yes?
You saved me from some embarrassment. I didn't remember the druid's name, Nivella, by the way, thank you. So when we came back to the house and you asked for me, you did me a solid. I won't forget that.
I'm new to the art of being a wingman, but I'm learning step by step.
Natural.
Wingman is a word that makes Kenku sad because our wings were taken from us. But nevertheless, I appreciate you.
Right-hand man?
Sure.
Yes, so you guys just finished off in the town of Inderith. You don't remember the elves' names. I don't know if you'd remember the town's name, but I have it because I write all of this stuff down myself. Yes, you guys, just to refresh everyone's memories, you defeated the spider cave, took out the brood mother, turned in the quest items, if you will, got yourself some neat poison. Mendax, you got, I believe, 3 arrows made from the gnome.
Did.
You guys picked up some griffin feathers. He made those for you. Call received some alchemy kind of instructional books from the druid as well. And after a night or two of rest, you guys decided to proceed on forth towards your goal, towards Tol Karabad, the Dwarven city to the south. In search of, I know it's been a while now, but you're seeking out the fabled Rock Eater, who has the ability to determine and identify all these mysterious ores. And if you recall from way back in Lakewood Town, you guys found not only these rings that are now stuck on your fingers and have become inscribed a little bit more after killing that spider, but also some of the ore and metal that the ring was made out of. So the blacksmith there just told you guys, head over to this city. He wrote you a script to try to get you in, get you good favor, and hopefully they can tell you a little bit more about these rings, their mystical properties, things like that. Kind of the overarching story, if you will. We're slowly making our way there. But yes, last I recall, you guys were marching down the trail, gonna head and make your way to Tol Karabad. I don't suppose anyone has any super last minute things they wanted to do in the town. I'm pretty sure everyone was set, but I guess I'll give you this one last chance before you truly make your way off.
Well, I did leave the nice note for Nivella, and decided not to draw a picture of my beak on it. And I'm ready to leave town.
Mistake, honestly. I think it's a mistake.
Okay. And you guys did meet with Richard, the butcher, who gave you plenty of supplies for the trail. So awesome. The town, as you got information, the kingdom, rather, we'll say, of Tol Karabad is about another 4 days travel down the road. So there will be plenty of time for you guys to talk. If you guys want to communicate at all about the spider cave or your adventures or any of that stuff, let me know. There will be plenty of time for that. Otherwise, we can do sort of like how we did the adventure to come down to this town, where you each will give me some rolls and we'll see how that day of travel goes. Is it rougher? Is there something that happens along the way? So why don't we start out with a day of traveling from Call, and then the following night from Mendax. So each of you, just a straight D20. I'm just kind of, we'll just see how nice your days are. So we
14.
Yeah, okay. And how about you, Mendax? What did you get as well?
I got a solid 6.
A solid 6. Okay, so yeah, I mean, the day of traveling, you guys are fresh. You guys have rested. You guys are you guys have, for the first time in a while now, rested in a bed, which has been quite nice. And so your day of travel feels very refreshing. It kind of, you're working the joints again and getting yourself on the way. The night, though, is a bit abrupt. You start to feel, again, that chill of sleeping outside in the forest, under the stars and moon, which is, wow, beautiful. Somehow this badlands kind of gets so cold, and you recall that feeling now of, oh yeah, outside sleeping, not the greatest. Nothing too bad though. Nothing disturbs you in the night. There's no attacks by the griffin. Maybe just not the most happy of nights for you guys. Let's go ahead. Mendax, you want to do the day D20 travel, and we'll have Nigel do the night.
Let's go. Beautiful days. Beautiful. And a 19.
Okay, yeah. And Nigel, what does the night look like for you guys?
15 for the night.
15. All right. So yeah, 19. You guys, again, the travel, it feels solid to be moving towards your destination. You're making very good progress. The Badlands, though, it's not showing any sign of getting any greener, if that makes sense. So you guys came from Lakewood Town originally, which was just full of lush trees and grass and all sorts of different shrubbery. But now this place is just kind of a cracked and dry, like, desert, essentially. You are able to, however, on a 19, you do come across a few plants along the way, and you find yourself about a handful of berries each. You know, it's very rare that you will see any sort of fruit in the desert here, but yeah, you guys are able to find kind of a nice little treat along the way. Picks your spirits up even more. Just a nice little treat while you're traveling. A 15, the night is a bit easier as you guys are getting more and more used to sleeping outside again. The road is not unfamiliar to all of you now by this point who have traveled outside so much. Call, let's go ahead and get the next day, and then Mendax the night.
Can I just say, it does feel a little bit better having Goop watch over us while we sleep. I feel like he's always keeping an eye out.
Yeah, and if ever you want to, kind of tinker around or see if you can figure out anything more with Goop, at your leisure, my friend. He's your companion, essentially, so as you will.
When I have some free time, I would like to browse the alchemy textbook or pamphlet, whatever it is, as we're going. Just thumbing through, not looking for anything in particular, just trying to absorb some of the knowledge inside. And also for my day, I rolled a 5. Hope that's not a problem.
Okay. And what did we get for the night?
We got a 13.
Okay. Cole, we'll say as you travel, anytime you guys do have to rest throughout the day. You do have to stop to eat every now and again. You're not trying to make a breakneck speed towards Tol Karabad, but you are trying to make good pace. Anytime you stop to eat or just to relax for a little while, you look through the book. You try to absorb as much of that knowledge and information as possible. Some of the bigger words that you don't really understand or haven't seen before, you show to Nigel, who can kind of explain a little bit of how it's used in this context. Nigel, some of the words even actually you're not overly familiar with, so whether you want to make something up on the spot where you feel like that's the correct word, or you want to admit that you don't quite know what that word means, is up to you. I leave that up to your character and how you'd like to do that.
I have much the same attitude towards this druidic lore as a doctor does to homeopathic medicine. It's gibberish and rubbish, and most of it's not very effective or powerful at all.
Okay, fair enough. So you help him as you see fit to. And before you go to sleep, Call, by the dying light of the fire, you'll continue to read, and you're just trying to increase that knowledge as much as you can. So we'll definitely count your travel as studying. On a 5, so this is now day 3. You guys notice it is starting to get actually much, much hotter. You don't see any particular reason why, but you do see off on the horizon, there is it's almost like black clouds, just very, 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 very far off on the horizon, about another 2 days travel still. But you do see sort of these black clouds looming in the distance, and the ground itself just feels hotter. Just the air feels a bit more stagnant. The ground is hotter, but can't really determine exactly why that is. It's not unbearable, but it is definitely getting warmer. The night is actually quite pleasant because of that increase in heat. It's not as cold, which makes a lot of sense, right? So you guys are able to sleep comfortably. You don't have to bundle up as much as you can. You can actually sleep a little bit more peacefully. You do notice something odd, where in the horizon, those black clouds that I was mentioning, you notice there's almost like lights that are just constantly going. They kind of are like a dim orange. If you've ever seen like almost stadium lights way off in the distance, and how they kind of just have like a hum in the air, you can almost just tell how much light is being sort of illuminated over there. That's what's happening. There's a ton of light, but it's very far away, so it's not keeping you up by any means, but it definitely is noticeable. Yeah, we'll say, Nigel, you are not overly familiar with Tol Karabad. None of you guys, I don't think, have had reason to be there before. You can try to roll a history check if you would like to, and see if you read anything about this Dwarven kingdom, other than it's the kingdom of the dwarves, if you like.
See if I know any details. Yes, I do have a +5 on my history, and I do
Good.
pretty much get to flex on one thing, and it's the number of books I've read. So
Yes.
that's a 21.
A 21. Actually, a very solid roll. Though you've not been there before, you have certainly heard of its sort of big attraction. The attraction of Tol Karabad to people is how extremely proficient and skilled they are with smithing, whether that's crafting weapons, crafting armor, or just simple tools. Their works are unparalleled by any other craftsman in the land. Elves have some competition with them as far as a few types of implements, but overall dwarves in Tol Karabad take the cake. They've got access to the best refineries, the best minerals and ores, and the best tools and techniques. Their ways are secret, and they don't share them with other people to kind of keep that business flow going for them. If you have a item or a weapon or armor made by a dwarf from Tolkarabad, that's like a status symbol. That's like your Rolex. You show that off. Like they have, their own imprints they'll do on their weapons that can't be duplicated. They're cheap knockoffs that are sold around the world, just to kind of, again, further illuminate how exclusive these items are.
Wait, you're telling me those braces are Karabadian? Genuine Karabadian braces? Very nice, very nice.
Yeah. So the other thing that has kind of sticks out in your head is the locale, the environment as to where they are. They are by active volcanoes. So there are at all times in the land around their kingdom active volcanoes that are going off, and they've made their kingdom in such a way that it evades any sort of damage from these lava flows, but it has provided them with not only some of the best source of heat in the world to keep their forges running, but also one of the best defended kingdoms there are. They have never fallen. They have never been, attacked successfully. You don't know to what extent this really means. If for one reason or another, the books do not explain fully in depth what exactly that means. You just know that is some detail of the environment, and you imagine that's where those black clouds and smoke and sort of glow of orange on the horizon, way off in the distance, is coming from. And the heat. So, props to Nigel for reading some books.
Are you kidding? Nigel, live fucking volcanoes. And we're going there willingly.
Oh, the dwarves have mastery over the earth and what's in there. It's all quite safe.
It's safe until it's not safe. Until things explode.
Well, it's not exactly like we have a bunch of choices of ways to get these rings off.
I mean, I quite like mine. Now it's been decorated, and purple isn't a very nice color. Not that upset about it, so.
It is nice, but I prefer rings that you can take off if you wish.
And that's also true. Sometimes purple does not go with the outfit you're wearing, so it's an excellent point. Excellent point. Fine, let's go. Keep moving, I guess.
Do you do any of you guys try to tinker around with the rings at all? Or have any of you wanted to take attempts to do anything? Not saying you should or you shouldn't, just that is also available to you guys as you're traveling and you have downtime. If there's any experimentation or anything you guys want to try out with it, please be my guest. Let me know. I'm more than happy to try to steer you in whatever direction.
Well, we've all bathed with them, so they don't respond much to water, we could say.
That is true.
Yeah.
I've been forming a habit of trying to pull it off, basically almost subconsciously, because I am not comfortable with strange magical anything attaching itself to me. It might not be a tick, but every night by the fire, whenever I'm not doing anything, basically I'm seeing
Trying to
if
pull it off.
touches. Yes.
So, when you attempt to remove the ring from your finger, Pegasus, you've now you've grown. You're not comfortable with it, but you've accepted it as kind of an inevitability for now. You've kind of clicked the I guess you've turned your feelings off to this, what would be very scary for other people, and you're trying to approach it analytically. Every time you try to remove the ring from your finger, you do notice, A, not only are you unable to do so, B, it almost feels as if it's fused to your skin in where on the finger that it's attached to, and any attempt to try to remove it or kind of pull or anything like that, the ring seems to kind of get tighter and tighter until you let it go and kind of let it get back to its normal position, where it kind of just mellows out and stops. It doesn't hurt by any means or anything like that. It's just, you can tell that there is a certain magical property to these rings where they are supposed to bind to that person that they kind of are attached to. And if you recall now, sort of again, that very first area you guys went to, these rings came off of who we'll call the bandit leader or the bandit king if you want to. He had all three of them on, and only when he died did they kind of get removed from his hands. They fell off. So, just some, information.
And if I
We could
recall,
always try killing ourselves.
he was a rather
probably-
strange character who didn't seem in full control of his own faculties. Almost like he was animated. Have any of you felt anything weird? Any impulses that were not normally your own?
Not at all. I was expecting some sort of foreign influence to come with the rings, but perhaps it is only if you wear multiple at the same time. I've heard no voices, no strange insights or psychotic influence.
My hijinks have really been the kind of hijinks I would have told before wearing the ring anyway. So, and perhaps it just couldn't handle three at once. Some people can't.
What if we held hands? Do you think that would
Oh.
create some summoning ritual or some linking power? Maybe that's a bad
If we
idea.
If we put all three hands in at once,
Yes.
By our powers combined.
I know we could
Triple fist bump.
give it a try. Yes. Nigel, quit laughing. Don't wait. That's not the. No, you usually try to tug it off with the other hand. Okay.
My wand in one hand.
So if that's what you guys are trying to do, you're kind of trying to, by our powers combined, as it would be.
Yes.
You don't notice any kind of effect. And to speak to what each of you kind of mirrored, you haven't noticed exactly what Nigel said as well. No, strange thoughts. No impulsive actions to want to do something that's outside of what you would normally want to do. Everything seems to be in check. Besides the fact that you can't remove these rings, and the fact that when you killed the spider, there was sort of that spider insignia that's now blazed on there. These rings seem like totally normal things. And that scene was just incredible.
I like that you watch from the shadows. A truly undignified dungeon master.
Yeah.
I
don't
was
need to
in my head
get
was about
into-
4 times the size of everyone's body. I was the Zordon of this bathtub.
You were the Zordon of the bathtub, dude. Oh my god. A reference not many, I think, will ever understand.
What is Zordon? I don't know what that is.
He was like the quest giver character of Power Rangers, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Yeah, just
Thank you, Apon.
Google image.
It's just a giant, like, ghost head, bald guy, if I remember right.
Yeah. I think he's
Yeah.
bald as well. Yes.
Yeah, he was definitely bald. So you're not quite Zordon, not yet.
Apparently, there's
No,
a lot
yeah,
of
challenge
memes of
accepted.
Walter White in the Zordon tube for some reason. Apparently, there's a lot of Breaking Bad, Power Ranger crossover memes.
Oh, wow. I was totally unaware of that. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, so you guys kind of do your Wonder Twin Powers activate moment to see if that sparks anything within the rings, and nothing. That's just kind of just, again, regular rings, except for a couple of those facts. You feel that there is probably something obviously more unique about these rings, other than maybe they're just cursed to fuse to the skin of the person who puts them on. But any attempts to really figure that out right now, well, you guys haven't been successful right now, at least.
Can I shake it off?
You can try. Give me a strength check.
Shit. That's going to be a... Not saves. 6 plus whatever. Oh no, 9. That's not as bad.
You fail.
I failed.
Yeah. Sorry.
It was a good try.
3.
It was. It's very stuck.
It's very stuck.
Very stuck.
When I think of things that are sticky, I think first of this ring on my pinky.
What finger do you guys have your rings on? By
This
the way?
one.
Oh. Okay.
Which one?
This one.
Sorry. Oh, that one. Oh.
Perfect.
I have mine on my right hand ring finger so that Dick the Butcher will know I'm single.
I see. Okay, perfect. How about you, Nigel?
Sorry, I was just deep in thought about magic and adjusting cantrips just there, which I realized
worries.
I had not fixed up. I may have been in another plane temporarily.
What
That's really
ring, what finger is the ring
That's
that's
awkward.
kind of fused on?
It's not on a finger.
Oh god. How did I know that meant that? How did I know, dude?
He
It's too
had the long pause. It wasn't me.
It's too predictable by this point. I gotta have a little more clever than that one. Come on now.
You're trying to raise the bar in here.
I'm trying to rate. If there's gonna be lewd D&D, it's at least gotta be a high standard.
Ring, you know where.
I've got I guess I've got it on my right index finger. So if I punch somebody, it'll imprint them with, at the moment, a spider. Assuming I don't just break my hand, since I'm not very good at punching.
Okay.
Right,
Fair
open
enough.
hand, just open fist slapping first, and work your way up to punching.
There you go. You can hit him with the backhand slap first.
Slap the heck out of somebody.
Awesome. Well, it is the nighttime day 3. Any specifics you guys want to chat about, or are you happy to head to sleep and proceed the rest of the way to the Dwarven city on the next morning?
I'm going to excitedly show off that I can now create bonfires. So we're going to have a bonfire that night.
Oh, that's
shit.
fun.
All right. Is that a new cantrip you have?
Yes, several episodes ago, actually, when I went to the 2nd level and replaced my already existing minor illusion cantrip with the upgraded advanced version of that I got by becoming a disciple of the School of Illusion.
I like
meant
it.
I could select another cantrip, but I forgot / didn't read that. So I can now summon a bonfire, which I can do on top of somebody and set them on fire. So it's,
Yes, you actually can, which is
it's quite
insane.
nice. It won't just be
thing-
firebolts anymore.
No, and that'll be bonfires just being summoned within 60 feet. Just boom, boom, boom at will.
We still have some meat from Dick, so should we have a nice bonfire and roast? That's nice.
So, assuming you don't summon this bonfire under one of your companions, it's magic. So you can actually affect like how it looks if you want to. Although it does only last for 1 minute, so there is that. I mean, you can
Yeah,
keep
that's
doing
pretty
it over and over, but it does only last for about 60 seconds.
I would like to sing and dance around the fire in a expression of merriment and fellowship with my friends.
Like a suit.
Saying something like, "Brood mother, we take none of your shit. We shooting that fire and we stabbing the shit." And we just flapping around, we're dancing, feeling good, you know? We started things out, we didn't know each other very well, but at this point, we are the heroes of at least 2 towns now. So, feeling a little bit chest out, shoulders back, pretty confident. We don't know what's ahead, but we've been through a lot so far. And I'm feeling like our bond is now strong.
I think I'll
Yeah,
also create some nice rhythmic kind of bongo noises, or using my illusion magic as well. So I'll cast a minor illusion to get a bit of a beat going in this joint.
Absolutely. Nigel the DJ coming out with the pyrotechnics and the jazzy beats. I love it. Absolutely. Yeah, you can do both of those things if there's some specific type of sound you want to make, or if you want the bonfire to look a specific way, you're more than welcome to. You can have images in the fire dancing around. You can make faces. You can do whatever you want, my friend. You are an illusion wizard. You are fucking powerful.
I'm going to make the bonfire in the shape of an owl for our plucked comrades. Bit of a throwback to Lake Town.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys see out of the fire, sort of just very detailed. You can see almost each feather kind of coming off of this owl as it kind of spreads its wings for a moment and almost seems to fly off into the distance. Nigel flexing his illusion magic pretty hard there.
I would do that for some time.
Go Carl. Go Carl. Go Carl. I'm just adding the background vocals of repetitive words.
He's the pretty prince of parties. We're having a little bush party. Good time.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you guys have a fun, awesome party in the night. You guys are feeling strong, and you have every reason to be. You've faced all these crazy challenges and come out on top. So far, the Wayfarers have not met something they could not overcome. So, absolutely, a minor celebration is certainly in order. After much more merrymaking and bonfire creating and crow dancing, we'll say, you guys pass out and awaken the next morning. Again, a little bit earlier than probably you would have normally woken up, as that heat starts to permeate again through the earth, and sort of it gets to an uncomfortable level to really sleep on. It's not by any means searing you or causing you any pain, but it's like if somebody turns on your seat warmer in a car on a regular day and doesn't tell you. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So you guys, wake up, pack up, and head on your way. Let's get one more D20, we'll say from Nigel, to see how the rest of this day's travels go.
Right. And the magic is with me. Feeling good. 19.
Oh, right on. Very awesome. Yeah, you guys, again, not really hampered by too much today. As you continue to progress forward towards these sort of smoke-laden skies, you do begin to notice the smell of, again, kind of that sulfur, that burning, that smoke beginning to permeate in the air as if there's a forest fire, miles and miles and miles away. By no means is it at the moment overbearing, but it is certainly enough that it catches your, nostrils. And it continues to get hotter and hotter and hotter. You have to slow down a little bit more. By no means do you have to trudge along, but it definitely is slowing your pace a little bit. With a 19, you guys are carrying on, I'd say, masterfully, drinking plenty of water. Nigel is very quick to point out the effects of heat exhaustion and all of the bad things and studies that have been done for that in a little bit more detail than probably is necessary. But that sparks you guys to take extra precaution, drink plenty of water, and take lots of rest breaks, which actually keeps your progress at a fairly steady pace. But about halfway through the day, we'll say even just a quarter of the way through the day, you notice the glowing on the horizon is now very intense. Even in the daylight, you can notice that there is not an unnatural source of light, but a source of light from the ground that is coming and kind of permeating up into the atmosphere. The clouds that are in the sky, however sparse they are, sort of have an orange tinge to them, and you can tell that it's not from the sun due to the direction. And that black smoke kind of looming now much closer to you guys is much more illuminated. You can make out a lot more of the details. You can see that it's almost a constant billowing going into the sky. you guys round essentially a ridge in a mountain. Well, not a mountain, but between essentially two hills, we'll say, where the path narrows some. Not to any extreme where you guys have to squeeze your way through, but now you're kind of needing to walk single file. And as you come out on the other side, you stop for a moment, as immediately your surroundings abruptly change. Who is leading the way in this march?
A thick-ass bird?
Okay,
Yes,
absolutely. Call, you are in the front. As such, you notice first that the path continues to stay narrow, but where it should have opened back up into sort of this desert plain, it actually, in fact, drops off almost on a steep hill now. So you're essentially, you're on, like, think of it like a very kind of narrow pathway, and it's cut off on the sides. And about 20 feet down, 20 to 30 feet down on all sides of you, is this pool of lava. There is literally lava and magma that is churning beneath you all. The heat is immediately much more intense. It kind of hits you in like a wave, like just this hot flash of air. And as each of you kind of make your way through and stand on this narrow passage, you're very uncomfortable. It's not unbearable, but you feel like you're standing in an oven almost. You can see that this passageway continues to extend down into the horizon, into kind of this cropping of mountains out in the way. But you see, again, just to try to describe the surrounding to you guys, this constant orange, bright glow coming from that lava, coming from that magma. Down there, it's like a swirling churn of orange and red as it is in a constant flow pouring down from the mountains that are in front of you guys. It's almost like it's filling a giant like cauldron of sorts. You've never heard of anything like this before. Nigel, the books downplayed exactly how much active volcanoes there were in the area and exactly what that meant. To say that the dwarves are a master of their surroundings is to put it lightly, as they've essentially carved out a tract of land in an otherwise inhospitable region of the world. But yeah, that's where you guys are now. Smoke billowing up into the sky on all sides of you. In the distance, you can see that orange and red glow kind of streaming down the mountains in what would be water, but in this case is molten earth. How would you like
the words hot damn are appropriate.
Yeah.
Getting welcomed with a sauna. Not really what I was expecting.
Why is the water orange? I've never seen this kind of thing before.
Carl, that's not water. That is the opposite of water. That's molten rock. And that will burn the living shit out of your feathers, so do not touch that.
So there
Yes.
should be a no swimming sign.
There should absolutely be a no swimming sign. Maybe there was one, but it probably burnt up.
Oh.
Yes, you may have stomached that rockfish better than us, Carl, but this one might be even beyond your abilities to withstand.
So it's like spicy food.
It's like spicy water.
Oh,
Yeah, if it melts your skin off as well. Yes.
that sounds unpleasant.
Yeah, the heat at this point is nigh to the point of being unbearable. As you guys are now kind of trudging along, you have to kind of catch yourselves as several times you start to get a bit dizzy just from how hot and how bright it is. Drinking water, checking up on your friends are some of the things on the top of your minds here. Let's get a survival check from each of you guys just to see how you're doing here.
Damn it. I have
Survival not necessarily the best check here, but it'll work out.
A 9.
14.
11.
All right, you're faring as best as you guys can. You don't necessarily know off the top of your head any tricks to try to reduce the amount of heat. Nigel, you run through your Rolodex of spells, even the ones that you haven't prepared for the day. You're coming up kind of empty. You're going to keep thinking on it. But again, the heat is making it very difficult to think straight. The pathway, as I mentioned, is narrow, but that doesn't mean you have to walk along like a tightrope or anything like that. It's about an 8-foot wide path, so you have plenty of room to continue walking forward, but you're definitely staying as close to the center of the path as possible. Do you guys want to do anything before continuing forth and trying to trudge the rest of the way to the Dwarven kingdom here?
It's a bit narrow. Should we put rope? Should we tie ropes around each other? I don't know exactly. Can we see how more narrow this path is going to get in front of us?
You can see off into the distance somewhat. The pathway begins to move through kind of into the mountains where, again, on either side there is lava coming down. So you can't see where it ends necessarily at this point. It looks like it stays about the same, how wide it is all the way through. Maybe a little bit of variance in there, but overall the ground seems surprisingly sturdy for a situation like this.
Okay, then maybe ropes aren't necessary. They might even start to burn, honestly, in this heat. It's disgusting.
Yes, I think we should just go as quickly as we can down here.
Very quickly and carefully. Let's just get out of it. Oh my god, it's so hot.
Yep, very hot indeed. All right, you guys continue pressing forward. The heat is at an all-time high since you've entered this area. It doesn't get any worse, but it certainly doesn't get any better. You do kind of begin to wrap maybe a bit of cloth around your nose and your mouth so that some of the smoke that is pluming up from the lava and the magma doesn't enter your lungs all the time. But overall, your pace has slowed significantly. You're taking as many breaks as possible. You realize you're kind of running out of water almost as the heat is, whether the heat is evaporating at some from your water skins or you're just drinking a lot more of it. So that starts to become concerning for you guys. You're not out yet by any means, but you do realize you're kind of probably at a point of no return where you either need to continue going forward or turn back right now to head over to the kingdom. So just going to make sure forward on. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
I would
So
have
the
to...
dwarves must walk up and down here every time they enter or leave the city. I'm not going to be stopped. Seems like it's the main path. It can't be that bad.
I mean, they do have a lower center of gravity, though.
The heat just goes over them.
Exactly. You know, they stay close to the earth.
This,
It's on top. It's just science.
this journey for me, the discomfort of the heat would be offset by curiosity. Think of a child or a young dog who sees snow for the first time. I can't exactly play in this stuff, but it is rather amazing and bright and interesting. A new experience. Uh-oh.
Yeah, overall, honestly, it is it's a sight none of you have ever seen anything close to before. This is insane to look at, seeing exactly how it looks like an ocean. It really does. But you realize and you know that beneath is sort of this this just kind of deathbed of magma and lava. So yeah, you guys, it's certainly not a life bed. I mean, I wouldn't say that. I don't think jumping in there is going to be healthy for you. Unless you need to, go Gollum on this. So you guys continue forward, and as you reach the mountains, you kind of again begin to follow the track around the bend here. And in front of you, you guys do see sort of this giant pillar, this giant towers of like a fortress almost. That is this dark black, dark red stone. Almost looks perfect on every side, as if it's been plucked out of like a painting. We have it up on the stream now, so if you guys want to get a sense of kind of what it looks like, feel free to take a look. But again, that just sort of gives you the gravity of the situation, exactly what your environment looks like here. The kingdom or the towers and the giant fortress itself is on like a raised plateau of earth, kind of similar to the path that you guys are on. And in splendor, you guys walk forward. You do notice, however, very quickly, Call, as you're leading the charge. As you get within maybe 200 feet of the kingdom, there is about a 10-foot gap in this pathway in front of you to the other side. And on the other side are these 6 stout figures that are standing there, and one of them kind of waves at you guys in the distance. Hello there!
Hello, people of Tol Karaban. We are 3 travelers who wish to meet with one of your citizens if we may.
I'm afraid you're not going to be able to do that today. The town's closed.
The entire town is closed? When is it going to reopen?
That remains to be seen. We're under a quarantine.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we have a wizard with us who may be able to help. What exactly are you quarantined for? Send your doctor, Nigel.
Yes, I have much expertise in magical and non-magical ailments. Perhaps we can aid you. What suffers here in your city?
Yes, well, I don't know exactly what it is, but what they've told me is there's some kind of disease, some plague, if you will, magically enhanced. It's terrible. I've never seen anything like it.
A magically enhanced plague, you say? I have studied many forms of terrible magics and may be able to aid you. Is there any way we can gain entrance? Who's carrying the message that we have? I'm going to open my backpack and ruffle through it.
I thought that was it Carl had the message because he gave it to Carl? I don't know. Who has the message? I know it's not me. I only have
A
pants and
message
shoes.
from the black.
I found it. I found
Okay,
it.
never mind. Nigel has it.
Okay.
I have a missive from a respected member of your city, granting us an audience with the Rockbreaker. Eater. The Rock
Well,
Eater.
he has to break them before he eats them. Honestly, he takes civilized bites. Nobody just starts gnawing on huge pieces of rocks. You obviously have to break them first.
Of course, of course.
Well, there was a lot of information. I have some details for you, travelers. I understand your situation, at least a little bit. That's a nice piece of paper you've got. Unless you can throw it over. I mean, I can't really check it right now. But, I mean, I don't know. Can you throw it over, maybe?
No. The last time we threw something across a gap this large, it didn't end well. Speaking of which, out of curiosity, good sir, how did you create this gigantic gap in what appears to be the only way in and out of your city? Is this an accident or on purpose?
We're dwarves.
I mean, to be honest though, I do have an arrow from the griffin feather. We could tie the message on the arrow. I could shoot it over to the ground at their feet, and he could get it from there. It would take. I mean, it's a precision arrow.
Ooh, we're gonna bust a precision arrow. I like it.
I mean, it's in the ground. I could go pick it up if they let it over. I mean, if they don't, then we're really pissed about that arrow.
Worst case scenario, you shoot one of them in the chest.
It's a precision arrow, and I will tell them to back up.
Everyone makes mistakes, I'm just saying.
I mean, that is also true, but I will do my level best to not shoot an innocent dwarven guard in the chest with my griffin precision arrow.
We should ask them if that sounds agreeable to them first before we fire away.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Nigel? Great idea, stupid idea.
Anything that gets us in here. Guards, we can shoot it across. Our talented archer here never misses, ever. Perhaps if you back up, we can simply shoot this into the ground at the feet where you're standing now. If you back up 20 or 30 feet.
Right, okay.
Bit.
Oh, back it up, lads. The demon's gonna take the shot.
You're really a demon. A demon. That's so degrading. Okay. So just diminish what I am. I mean, that's fine. Okay. I'm going to tie it off onto my arrow precision.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot it and aim it to go a little bit past the break into the ground safely without hitting anyone.
Okay. Sounds good. So you get a +1 to hit here. So go ahead. You do need to roll a d20 because, there's still
Right.
all sorts of chances in this game.
Uh-oh.
A 20, not a natural 20. It was a 19 plus the 1, so a dirty
Yeah.
20.
It's a
Give
19.
me that arrow. I told you precision. I told you. I was going to shoot anyone through the chest. Don't trust. There's so many plants I could take, but I have to get there first.
So you got you rolled a 19, you got a +1 from the arrow, and then another +3 from your dexterity because you are, pretty skilled in that sort of combat. So in total, a 23. That's plenty, more than enough to shoot an arrow into the ground 10 feet away from you. Very easy, child's play. Roll a d10.
Right, you expect it back. Sorry, go ahead.
Roll a d10. And tell me what you roll.
Uh-oh.
Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is a D10. A 30.
A what?
Then it's a D10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a 30.
Yeah, what did you-
It's a 30.
Oh, so you rolled a 3.
Okay, no, then maybe there's multiple D10s. No,
So there's one. That'll work. So if you rolled a 30, we'll just take that as a 3. So that's There's usually one that just has a 1 through 0, and then one that's like 10 through 00. But that's perfect. 3 is fine. Your arrow does not break. That's the only thing I was trying to do. There's
Oh, good. Okay.
on these arrows for them to break. Great. The dwarf that was talking to you guys walks over to the arrow that is firmly kind of stuck in the ground. He'll grab the paper and hold it a bit of a distance away from his face as he kind of tries to adjust in the light. He wipes his brow and he actually looks around and puts a bit of a monocle on and squints a little bit and takes a minute to read through. And he goes,
Why, Martin? Milton sent you to us, eh? I have not seen that dwarf in an age. How is that old bastard doing?
Much better since we rescued him from bandits and saved his life. Much, much better.
He's a blacksmith of great renown in Lake Town.
Mhm.
He's perhaps the anchor point for their entire economy there. It's amazing.
So the entire town shut down without him. He's doing quite well for himself.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like him. Give him my best regards. Well, on a normal day, this would be more than enough to let you in. I mean, it's not like we're normally closed. Especially since you're a friend of old Rock Melter. That old bastard. But today, I'm afraid, I really don't think you're going to want to go into the town. This disease, this plague, it's all manner of gross, oils and pustules and it's just terrible. We've been trying to figure out an answer for it for the past day and a half now. We think we've got it, but we're just missing some damn ingredients.
Ingredients are you missing?
I don't know if you're skilled in the ways of alchemy. But this is what they told me.
Ooh.
We're missing some kind of catalyst. something to hold the rest of the magic that needs to be poured into this antidote. You see, you've got to fight the disease with potion, and you've got to fight the magic with magic. We've got the clerics. Hell, we've even got the alchemists. But wouldn't you know it, we're just out some kind of meeting to put everything together.
I caught most of what he said. I think he needs a catalyst. Some alchemical ingredient. He didn't say what it was. But maybe in my book I could reference that type of thing.
Absolutely, that's what I was going to say. From the reading you've done, and even before, you understand sort of the basics of alchemy. There are ingredients that will have the effects of the potion, but then the actual like liquid, the actual part that you're drinking, the part that's infused with it, it can be all sorts of different types of from water to all sorts of different types of stuff in the world. So that's what he means when he says catalyst. That's what he means when he says medium. They're missing a strong enough medium to absorb the sort of the herbs and healing properties they need, as well as the magic. And this you have read about. It's one of the basic fundamentals of alchemy that you've been reading about in your books here. Is that if you don't match a strong enough catalyst, a strong enough medium with the type of herbs or even magic that you're trying to do in advanced alchemy, it won't hold. The whole thing will kind of break apart and dissolve. It won't have the correct effect. So some very, very, very high level, some very extremely skilled alchemists will distill these types of catalysts for months, years even, to have a potent enough source so that they can create these really high level sort of effects, if you will. So he's saying that they've got the healing they need. They've got that herb. They've got those herbs that they need for that, the ingredients for that. They've got the magic. They have the clerics even that can put in the rest of it to combat the magic portion of this, but they're missing that keystone. They're missing the thing in the middle that can put it all together.
Would I know from this text any examples that might work that we could find?
You can reference your book even now. Let's go ahead. I'll have you do a what kind of check would be appropriate here? We can do a nature check for you.
Very good. It's going to be 7 plus 4. I am proficient. It's an 11.
Okay, we'll give you even an additional bonus because you have source material and research material on hand that you can try to reference. You know that at the most basic level, many alchemy potions that your basic book even is telling you to use, the most basic level is water. Water is totally like acceptable for many potions. For more kind of higher level ones, they almost have to sometimes make like a distilled version of like mercury. It's like a metal infused water that is they do enough kind of these kind of filtering things in order to make it consumable so it won't kill someone just from drinking it. There are some sort of very, I guess we'll call it edgy alchemy ingredients out there that use blood as a sort of stopgap and shortcut between like water and like distilled mercury, essentially, because that has enough of the sort of mineral and metal properties they need from the mercury, as well as the water base, in order to kind of get you there real quickly. There are some things that can go wrong with that, but there's been a lot of studies about, using blood from all sorts of different types of creatures, whether it's human beings themselves or there are other kind of mystical creatures out in the world.
So it seems as though we've got a couple of options. One of them is to get some blood. Blood is used as a shortcut for getting a medium for some of these potions. I don't know if it will be wise for us to donate our own blood. I don't know how much they need. It's an unknown for us the quantity of medium that they need. And then the other options would be some very fancy distilled substances that would take many years, and I doubt we would want to wait that long to turn in this the stuff that they need. You there, dwarf, good man. How much of the stuff do you need?
A lot. We got a whole kingdom. Lots of people are sick.
So like this much?
At least twice as much as that.
Twice as much as this?
At least
If-
twice as much.
If you were to trade one entire person, would that be enough? Or are we talking like at least 10 people's worth of blood? Yeah.
What? I didn't know we were talking about. I don't know anything about this. I'm just a god. Let me go get someone who knows a little bit more. Hold on. You just wait.
And
You
he'll
two,
kinda-
if
Oh, were you gonna
down
say
to,
something?
oh yes, I would. I know I'm a bit of a shit, but I have this ring. I have the ring of Collar, and I did promise to give it to his son. And as much as I've never had a family, I wish I could have, and I need to get this ring back to him. So if I need to give my blood to make this happen, I volunteer to do so. I'm telling this to you two now because if they say that we have to slit my throat, I might back out of that later. But for now,
So, to be clear, they didn't know that you needed blood. That was the inference from the text. They may have preferred the other stuff, so we're still kind of weighing our options and seeing things, but personally, I would prefer to rule out killing you as a sacrifice to complete this quest. It seems a little bit
Yes.
overdoing it.
go all the way to sacrifice. But I am saying, if they need a few pints, then I do volunteer. It's important. Family is important. I've been
From
told.
the sounds of it, there's a lot of people in this city, and they might need many, many pints. We are here in a mountainous
Yeah, maybe they
region.
just need a couple of drops to curate. I don't know how this works. I'm not the alchemy master here, but if it just takes a few drops per person, and a few pints of blood.
Well, we have many water skins, many of which are empty after drinking on our journey here. And if we do find a nearby den of kobolds or goblins or some other such creature, perhaps we could harvest some creature's blood. As long as they're up to no good, bandits, marauders, creatures of that kind. We could ask the dwarves if they have any problems in the area. Perhaps
Like
solve a
it's
problem for the dwarves
so-
and also cure their illness.
It was not Mendax who suggested that. That's all I would like this 3-person party to be aware of. Mendax is not suggesting, massacring people for the blood.
Creatures, monsters, and even if they
Sorry,
are humans, they're
creatures and
humans who have given up their humanity by preying on
That's
others,
Fair.
and therefore it is morally justifiable.
And if we go down that route, I would very much like to say I would give preference to any creature or monster or, human monster that is wearing pants or shoes.
I agree.
Locally sourced, free-range blood harvest options. Let's see what we can do here.
Oh god, what have I done? All right. Yeah. So after you guys were discussing this, very altruistic of yourself, Mendax, a very big turning point for your character, I would say. Normally wouldn't give two damns about anyone else, but something about that dwarf has inspired you to be so selfless. The captain, we'll call him the captain. You guys don't know what he is exactly, but the captain comes back, and with him is sort of a hooded dwarf figure as well. As a description of what these guys are wearing, by the way, the 6 dwarves that were out there to begin with when you guys first arrived were all wearing very sort of ornate, almost fabulous, like mail armor, metal, like blackened, but it doesn't look like it's blackened from being dirty. It looks like the material itself is almost like a very high quality. You're not even sure what it's made of, but it's extremely pretty and it looks very well kept. The dwarf that comes out is in a very kind of fine white linen robe. It's by no means overly too fancy, but it does look very nice. It looks very clean. It looks like in this kind of heat environment, it would serve very well to keep you cool, but to also, keep you protected. There is sort of a green tree like insignia that's embroidered on the front of his robes here. Doesn't mean anything to you guys necessarily, but it does stand out in quite a big contrast to the other guards that are with him. And he'll step forward, he'll pull back his hood, and he's got like this very red, almost fiery red hair that is done down in these braids that kind of fall down over his shoulders. A very gruff and stout red beard as well. And he looks like, well, a dwarf. And he waves at you guys. I don't know if you're paying attention or if you're still talking amongst yourselves.
You there. You know about alchemy?
Yes, I do. I've heard that you need a medium. You've got the herbs and you've got the magic, and you need the medium so that you can distribute the cure.
And when you kind of mention this, and he sort of sees that you understand essentially what he's going for, he'll look behind him, he'll nod to a couple of the dwarves, and he'll talk to them, and you see them they have like some bundled up almost like parcels, like boxes kind of things, like bundled up in cloth, and they start lowering it over the right side. You don't see what they're lowering it to, but they start lowering it. And he'll turn back to you guys.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what we need. We need some kind of medium. You get it. I'm glad to find travelers such as yourself who understand.
Damn it, dwarf voices are hard on the voice.
Fantastic. Yes, we could certainly use your aid. Do you have any distilled mercury?
No, we do not. Do you know where we could find some?
About a month or two of travel that way.
And he'll point back in the direction you guys came from.
That's not really an option. That's not gonna work. We're really in desperate need. We're gonna have to cut some corners. You're familiar with the whole blood thing, right? I mean, kind of edgy, kind of new. I get it. It's not my favorite thing either, but desperate times, desperate measures.
Yes, we are aware of this as an option, but we are foreigners to this land and don't know of any locally sourced places where we could find things that bleed.
You're in luck. We've got just the thing.
Oh?
Yes. Now, of course, normally if we needed something like this, we would just get all the healthy dwarves and all the healthy people to donate. Of course, we've not had to do this in the past, but it wouldn't be so terrible. It would save a lot of lives, after all. Unfortunately, our blood, and also your blood, it's too weak, to be honest with you. It's not going to handle it. We need something a lot stronger than that. We need the magmalisk's blood.
The magma what?
A magmalisk.
A magmalisk?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Magmalisk?
There aren't any kobolds or marauders nearby that would work?
Nope, that's too weak blood. Like I said, if we needed that kind of blood, we'd have plenty of it here. There's enough healthy dwarves to donate for that. It's just not gonna cut it, though. We've already tried.
So you're saying you need some of the thick stuff?
Yeah, we need some of the good stuff.
Thick. He specifically said thick.
Yep.
What is a magmalisk?
What? It's like a dragon. Kind of.
Smaller, much smaller though, I hope.
Sure, why not?
What?
We believe that it lives in magma, and it's like a dragon. So it's a dragon that lives in lava, and I'm going to guess is impervious to fire damage.
Yeah, I see you've heard of one before.
A character to play once. I didn't get to play it, director's favorites and all that thing. Wanted to be Magma List 1, ended up tree number 7, but whatever. It's fine, I'm not bitter about it at all.
That sounds like a very weird play. Anyways, yeah, you've got the picture. We need you guys. Go find the Magmalisk. Go get some of its blood. Bring it back to us. Easy peasy.
I'd like to
Well-
do a nature check to see if I know anything about magmalisks, if I've ever heard of them.
Sure, go ahead.
May I
7
assist in
plus
this?
3.
Perhaps I've heard of one.
Yeah, sure. You can assist with him. You guys kind of collectively put your heads together.
I assist nothing. All I know is that it gets very weird between the Magmalisk and the heroine of the play. That's all I know. That's the
So
extent of the knowledge.
if you assist Nigel, he will get a +2.
Okay.
Okay.
So it was-
Rather than like on top of my plus.
Yeah,
Okay.
you would get your roll, your
It would
regular.
go up to a +5 rather than a +3, right?
Yep, there you go.
Okay, so we've got a 12 then.
A 12. All right, you have never heard of whatever creature they're talking about. That's not necessarily surprising to you. There are tons and tons and tons of unique creatures that are very specifically only live in specific environments that you ever, that you don't know about. So this is, you assume, is just one of those things.
Fair enough. Great. They want us to kill a gigantic fire dragon from the sounds of it. Let's make sure
Sounds
we get a
like-
good deal on this at least. Make sure they offer us a good reward.
Not exactly, not just passage. I feel like we at least need some armor. Some armor or weaponry in exchange for this.
Okay, so we have 3
I mean,
questions
I'll
for
give
them.
I'll give my blood willingly, but I'm not going to fight a hecking Magmalisk.
Just to
But not-
clarify before we shout at them some more, we're asking them any tips for killing them, because I've never fought
Where it is.
a magma. What?
Now, where it is. I don't know where it is. I'm assuming it's in magma, but there's lots of magma here, so.
Where it is, and how to lure it out if it's swimming about. We don't know how this works. And then also, how do you get the blood? Like, what is that? You pull it out? If it's the size of a dragon, do you have to pull this out of the magma? It would be very hot. We would burn our hands. So we need some procedure. What is the extraction procedure?
Absolutely. And then,
Oh, the
Once
reward.
we help-
Yes.
once we help cure them. I mean, curing the city, obviously, first and foremost. And then getting the Ring of Colabril to Colabril's son, secondary. But tertiary. I do think, perhaps they have so many weapons and things they make, they could spare a few.
Very good. I'll pass that along then. Master Dwarf!
Hello.
Regarding this magmalisk, couple questions. Question number 1. Where do we find it? How do we bring it out so that we may fight it?
That's a very smart question number 1. So, magmalisks, as you might have guessed, live in magma. They only come up for air once every, 5-10 days or so. So that's not going to do unless you guys can swim in lava. But whenever we have needed to see one of these before, properties of the magmalisk that we have, extracted, they always come up for these red crystals. These red crystals, they go crazy for them. They go nuts. They love them. They eat them. They grow at the very tops of these mountains you've seen, where the lava is most active. You get a few of those bad boys, you've got yourself a magmalisk.
Very good. That makes sense. So we bring these crystals as a lure so that we can attract the magmalisk. Makes sense.
It's just like fishing.
No, it's not.
Except,
It's not.
I mean, I think it is.
This is a strange
which
place.
do you go after? What kind of regular fish do you fish for? That getting a magma list is just like fishing to you.
Well, we are foreigners. We should respect their culture and their uniqueness here. Second question. So, are there any tools or things that you could lend us so that we may more effectively defeat this magmalisk?
You're funny. You're not gonna kill it. That'd be crazy. This thing would destroy you. Luckily for you guys, magmalisks super docile. They're like ferrets, or dogs, or rats. Just keep to themselves.
I don't feel like that's very rude. Dogs are obviously superior to both ferrets or rats. I'm not yelling that, I'm just saying it under my breath to my companions. I'm very upset. I do love dogs.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you're not gonna kill a magmalisk. I'll tell you that right now, though. Kudos to you. You're just brave or stupid. One of the two. What you can do, though, is you can extract the blood from the ticks that are on its back.
Ah, so we can lure it out using these red crystals, which of course you'll provide us with some of to aid us so we don't have to travel up to the lava-tipped volcanoes and burn ourselves in the process, surely. And then we'll lure the gigantic creature out of the magma using these crystals and quickly chop or rip or cut into these ticks to remove them from its back.
So, like, well, here's what I'm picturing. You guys, you find one. I got like one of these crystals. You'll probably need like 2 more at least. I mean 3 really if you want to be safe. Sorry, I didn't really. We're out. You get a few more crystals. It's fine. It'll be easy. You get a few more crystals. You slap those bad boys into the magma where you see the all the bubbles coming up. That's how you know. That's what one is. The bubbles coming up to the surface. And then that guy he'll come up there and oh boy, he's gonna go crazy for those crystals, I tell you. And yeah, you'll see all these like ticks. They're like crazy looking stone crabs all over it. You guys just like hop up on there and kill a couple or whatever, and you can you get their blood.
No, we hop on the magmalisk to kill the ticks.
You just hop on it. You just hop on.
This sounds extremely dangerous. Given this fact and that we are risking our lives for the well-being of your town, we are curious as to the compensation for this great effort.
Yes, we will be very appreciative and in your debt.
Astounding.
And perhaps we, in dwarf culture, they have been quite gracious in the past and rewarded us without us having to have a set deal in place. However, I think their idea of reasonable risk and what is normal may have changed over generations living inside a literal volcano. I think we're definitely wise to err on the side of caution. Good sir, can you offer us at least a guide? Someone more familiar in this alien terrain. We are not used to this magma and lava, and we do not know how to navigate these lands. Surely one of your healthy comrades who has avoided the plague could help show us the way.
He'll kind of turn around and like kind of nod, and they'll talk amongst themselves for a minute or two.
Sure. Stumpy will go with you.
Stumpy?
Stumpy?
Stumpy, yes, Stumpy.
Oh.
Is he called because he is short and yet stout and strong and withstands all, and you expect him to grow taller one day?
No, we call him that. He's got no legs.
And there's a dwarf that kind of will like wheel his way up from behind. He's kind of in like a makeshift wheelchair kind of thingy. And he'll like wave. He's really excited.
Mendax, I'm starting to think that play you were in may have been more realistic than these people's idea of what proper common sense is.
Honestly, I'm not even joking. I tried out for a part that looked very much like Stumpy, but I didn't get it because they said I didn't roll realistically enough. Hence, tree number 7.
Just these future telling plays that you were a part of.
You know what? Plays, they describe the human or not so human experience, okay? The universal. The theater is. The one problem we have though is how the bloody hell is Stumpy going to wheel himself over this 10-foot gap over the magma?
Yeah, and as if almost in response to like your question, you didn't shout it at them, so they didn't hear you.
No, I was just saying it to my
But
team.
yeah, you see them tying a rope to Stumpy. And,
Oh my god, are they going to throw Stumpy?
No, they're lowering over
Stumpy.
No, they're lowering him over the right side of the cliff that they're standing on, kind of where they were lowering those other parcels. And after like, a few seconds of them just kind of like, hand over hand, kind of lowering him down, you'll see them pull the rope back up. Stumpy's not attached to it anymore. And you'll see, if you look over the side of the magma lava kind of thing, there's like this steel rowboat that Stumpy is now kind of churning his way through the lava, heading over towards your side of the gap.
That's gonna be what a hot-ass boat.
I think you'd struggle to put a hole in that one, Mendax.
Okay, you know what, don't threaten me with a good time. I'll put a goddamn hole in any boat. You give me enough. Give me the proper tools, it'll happen.
Let's hold off on sabotaging the boat until we finish this endeavor.
I don't want to sabotage this boat, but I'm saying if I'm challenged to sabotage this boat, I feel like I have to.
Not one person has challenged you to sabotage a boat this entire day.
Nigel half challenged.
Oh my
I kind
goodness.
I may
He kind of did, exactly. Don't look at me, it was Nigel. I didn't actually do it yet, but Nigel half challenged me to sabotage this boat. I'm not going to do it now,
Well,
and I wouldn't do it if we sailed over afterwards, but once we got there safely, maybe there's a hole that's in that boat. I'm just saying.
well, let's stay on task.
Yeah,
We have the crystals and the magmalith to tend with first.
So as you guys are kind of not arguing, but I guess bickering a little bit between yourselves, like a very almost the size of your halberd called like harpoon is shot up from the lava and is planted into the ground kind of in front of where you guys are at. And you look over and you see that Stumpy has thrown up this harpoon from about 25-30 feet down and stuck it into the ground where you guys are, and there's a chain that's going off the side and all the way back down. And he'll call out to you guys,
Come on down. The lava is fine.
Decision on your way down.
no.
You
Nothing
should get
you
it back
can
and
say.
get that first.
What's that?
Get that first.
Oh, shoot, you're breaking up a little bit. Did anybody catch
Oh,
what you
sorry.
said?
I asked if he had grabbed my arrow of precision on the way
Oh.
down.
No, the other guard, like the captain, has it.
And so I asked Stumpy if he could go back and get that.
He'll kind of
we're
look
about to
back
go-
over at the captain, and the captain will like nod at him, and the captain looks at you, Mendax, and he goes,
Okay, catch.
and he throws it at you. So go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. This motherfucking shit. I've got 13, 10 plus 3.
Okay, yeah, I mean it's not like somebody, he didn't like fire this out of a bow and arrow, so it's not coming to you at like lethal speed or anything like that. But there is a lot of strength behind this throw, and he chucked this thing at you. Whether on purpose or he just doesn't quite understand his strength that he has. I mean, all of these dwarves are tough AF, to say the least. But you're able to catch the arrow out of the air. And it goes,
Yeah, nice catch.
Okay, we're good.
okay.
Fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I've got the arrow. We're fine. We're calm. No problem.
The arrow's still in working condition, I trust?
Yes, I mean it definitely hit some dirt on the other side, so I don't think it's too much damaged.
No.
And
It
I
looks-
caught it out of the air, so
That was a fine catch. I would like to clap a little bit.
cute.
Very good. So we'll be
Appreciate
off to
that,
the
Carl.
boat then?
I do appreciate that.
I can strap Goop to my back to go across.
Yes.
Nothing like a fun boat trip in the magma. This is going to be fantastic.
I'm glad you're so excited. I am
Throw Nigel into the boat. It's fine. Just toss him.
too. Yeah, nice little 30-foot drop. That should do just fine. Yeah, so the chain that's attached to that harpoon it's draped over the side of the cliff where you guys are at, and it's lowered down to the boat. When whoever is going first, the chain is very hot. It almost burns your hands a little bit to grab it. It's almost like you grabbed a bowl of soup out of the microwave, kind of too quick.
What's a microwave?
You can fuck off. But so it hurts. It specifically hurts Bendex quite a bit. Actually. Now I think about it, your very dexterous hands are not used to.
Resistance. That's the one it
Leave
hurts.
away
Okay. Probably deserve
You guys
that.
make it down to the boat just fine. Your hands feel a bit uncomfortable for sure, but they're not burnt. There's been no permanent damage to them.
How many ticks did we need? Did we end up getting that information? Stumpy?
Oh, hey.
Wait, how many, Stumpy?
What?
How many ticks, Stumpy?
Well, let's see. You're gonna need at least 1, 2, 3, like 4, maybe 4 ticks worth, enough to fill up these bad boys. And he'll unwrap one of the cloth parcels that was lowered down to the boat earlier. And there's these kind of big, just vial containers. One of them, there's 5 or 6 of them. He says you need 4, so they gave you some extra just in case. One of them, though, is seated in this crazy-looking syringe contraption that almost looks more like a gun than anything else, with like a giant plunger on the end of it. So he's saying about 4 of these should do.
Okay, but one of them, the one in the gun, Stumpy, is this the one that we insert into a tick to fill, and then we have to replace the canisters?
You got it.
Right.
I guess we'll
Okay.
try to chop the ticks off the back and remove them, get them in the boat, and then drain the blood from them, if possible.
Yeah, I mean, if you think you
Idea.
guys could do that, that's great. Just in case, though, I did bring some extra harpoons. And kind of with saying that, he'll grab the chain, and with one of his hands, he'll just kind of give it a good pull, a good tug, and the harpoon will like crash down into the magma beneath you guys with a kind of an unsettling splash. The like carelessness of Stumpy and the magma and the lava is kind of alarming to you guys. And so about, like 25 feet of the chain is in the magma. And he just kind of starts pulling it up as if it's rope, just with no problem. You can see the molten earth starting to drip off of these chains. And he's kind of bumbling along, pulling it all up until the harpoon, which by this point is essentially like a glowing cinder, he just grabs and he places it on the side of the boat.
All right, should we get going?
May I see your hand, Stumpy?
Yeah. And he holds his hands out, and they are just destroyed. I mean, these things are like they're not like blistered. They're not like bleeding or anything like that. It doesn't necessarily look like he took any damage from all of that heat, but they're if you had your eyes closed and you felt his hands, you would almost just mistake it for rocks. Like, they're that tough. There's no softness to them. How he's able to move his fingers and joints around is just an act of God to you. With you, are you like inspecting his hands? Like, are you touching his hands at all?
I'm not going to touch them. I'm not mad. I'm simply looking for burn marks and admiring the fact that there seems to be more callous muscle and all sorts of excess layers of skin that have grown in response to extreme trauma than anything else. I am simply impressed by this dwarven physiology.
Yeah, I mean, you can actually see like almost heat waves permeating off of his hands, like his open-faced palms for a moment. You guys are basically fucking boiling at this point. The boat is very hot. It is entirely made of metal. It doesn't seem like it should be as hot as it is, nor that it should exist in this pool of lava. But you're now directly next to the lava. You are actively getting burnt. And you guys are very quickly uncomfortable, like, to the extreme. You're sort of almost in active danger. And Stumpy, seeing you guys start to get kind of red and like your hair almost begins to singe on your arms.
Not my
and he'll go,
fucking hair.
"Oh, whoops! Here, put these on. I forgot. I don't feel it anymore. I was born here, lived here my whole life." And he'll unwrap another kind of cloth parcel, and there are 4 red and gold like cloaks in them, and he'll hand one to each of you.
Oh, thank you. What is this for?
Immediately.
Yeah, so almost as soon as you guys put the cloaks on, the heat instantly begins to dissipate. It's by no means cold. It's not even necessarily very comfortable, but it is way less hot. It is extreme. You feel a lot better. You feel better even than when you were standing up at the top of the at the top of the pathway. You feel more comfortable. Instantly, almost cold for a second, as the heat change is almost immediate.
I wouldn't take those off while you're down here.
I feel rather refreshed with this on. This is a magical cloak, I trust.
Yeah. For when we have visitors.
So you're all used to it then? The people of Tol Karabad?
Oh yeah, it's in our blood. They say the lava flows through our veins.
That sounds unhealthy.
I mean, my dad lived to 350.
That's a lot longer than Kenku live. Maybe I should have
What's
some
a
of that in my
Kenku?
blood. I am a Kenku. The Kenku
It
people,
couldn't hurt.
we are a bird people, a flightless bird people. We are adept at mimicking the different sounds that we hear. Each Kenku is only able to speak by mimicking the sounds they've already heard.
Yes, you should hear him do you, actually, Stumpy. He can do your voice perfectly.
Oh, yes. yes,
Show him,
yes.
Carl.
Oh, Carl, do Stumpy. Do Stumpy.
Oh yeah, it's in our blood. My ancestors have had lava in their veins for the past 400 years at least.
Hey, stop it. We said let Carl do you.
That was me.
Oh my god, it was so good.
Oh yes.
It was so good. I thought it was Stumpy the whole time.
Wow, a second Stumpy. I never thought I'd see the day. Are you magic or something, bird?
No, I'm a Kenku. We are all like this. Some are better than others, and I am a birdbarian, so I like to fight.
Wow.
So the thickest
cool.
of the birdbarians. Carl is just the best you're going to meet, period. And I think that's enough. That's just blanket statement truth.
I have a question for you, Stumpy, and you can abstain from answering if you're uncomfortable. But what happened to your legs?
I was moving some anvils, and they fell on my legs. So I had to chop them off.
But you chopped them off.
Oh, I wasn't gonna just lay there like a fool. I had to go move the anvils.
Big pants at the time, and did they become cut-offs when you chopped off your legs, or were you already wearing cut-off shorts, so they didn't really change when you cut off your legs?
I don't remember what kind of pants I had on.
Well, I will say, Master Dwarf Stumpy, you are one of the hardiest creatures I've ever come across.
Just wait till you see the magmalisk.
Okay,
And,
you didn't have to bring that up again, honestly.
I think that's probably a good spot to take our mid-session break, if everyone is amenable to that.
Sure.
Before we set off on the lava adventure. So we'll go ahead and just take a quick 5 minutes, let everyone get refreshed, let poor Apoptosis rest his voice for a minute or two, and then we'll get back underway. Thanks everyone for joining.
Okay.
And we'll be back with Wayfarers Episode 9, The Team in Tall Karabad.
Woo!
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with episode 9 of Wayfarers, part 2. We just had our toilet time, and we are gonna find out what's gonna happen. The team has met Stumpy, the very hardy dwarf with no legs, but a lot of toughness. They're in a boat made of steel in the lava, on a quest to extract the blood from the ticks of the magmalisk so they can save the people of Chol Karabad. We continue with Wayfarers.
All right. Yeah, so unless you guys have any other questions for Stumpy before you head underway, he'll kind of shore up the oars. Again, they're these just giant slabs of metal that essentially move the lava behind you. You imagine that holding onto those has got to be insanely hot, so you guys are happy to let him take over that task.
His hands, it's fine. So we have one of the red crystals, correct? We need at least 2 more.
Yeah, so he in one of the kind of wrapped up parcels in the same one that your cloaks were in was a red crystal. So you guys have a good frame of reference of exactly what you're looking for. There is, even as you hold it in your hand, a bit of heat that emanates off of these crystals, and almost like it looks like a living fire that's inside of these things. Even with your cloaks on, which has instantly lowered the temperature of everything around you, you still feel kind of almost a hot, like heat coming from here, from the crystal. So you can't imagine how hot these would be without the cloaks.
We need two more of these, Stumpy.
That's what they said. Stumpy doesn't know much about magmalisks and crystals, but I can steer a boat.
But you know where to find these crystals, right? Up at the top of the mountain.
It sounds like you know where to find them.
I mean, that's what I was told. So, Stumpy, to the top of the magma mountain. Pip, pip, cheerio. As fast as you can.
Right away. And they'll kind of just start pushing these oars, again, with great strength. The lava dripping off of these, these cinder red, glowing yellow-orange oars at the end where they were dipped into the lava. And he's just kind of rowing them along just as easily as you guys did when you were back in Lakewood, on actual water.
Any magma sea shanties, like songs that we can sing to Stumpy to help him row faster.
If you know a lava sea shanty, by all means, bust it out.
Actually, I know one.
All right.
Oh, he might. Yes. Okay, excellent. Go, Carl.
For over the hottest lava, ouch, we ride the boat made of dwarven steel to find the beast, defend the keep, to save the dwarves of Karabad. I don't know the next part.
I love that remix. I absolutely love it.
Wow,
Fire.
you're a professional singer too.
No, I just copy things well.
Oh, that was really good.
If I copied a bad singer, you would have said, "Oh, you're terrible at singing."
Old Stumpy doesn't know necessarily the difference between a good tune and a bad tune, but I do like tunes. You have any more?
He has so many. Carl has all of the tunes. Go ahead, hit him with another one, Carl. Hit him with another one.
What kind of tune do you want? Oh, I feel like a music box now. I would remind you I'm a birdbarian, not a bard. Though maybe I was a bard in a past life.
You've heard so many things. Let's go with a nice elven jig. You've heard an elven jig, of course. Everyone's heard an elven jig, Carl.
An elven jig? What's a jig?
It's an upbeat dancing song.
Hmm.
Did Novella not teach you?
So, a lot of things happened at Novella's house, but I'm not gonna tell you all of them. She didn't teach me any songs.
But she taught you some other things. Okay, we'll talk about the other things later.
Stumpy, I've got a good song. You want to hear it?
Sure.
Yes, Stumpy, go, please. Songs, let's go.
Okay. Oh, Stumpy drives the boat. Don't fall over or you might not float. How did you like it?
I absolutely loved it. It was impactful and truthful.
There was a
Well
moral
done.
to the story, and it was a very safety-conscious message.
It was.
Almost as
Complete-
good as Goop's theme song, honestly. Life-changing.
Okay, but that's a very high bar to set because Goop's theme song is the epitome of music.
Things that save your life do tend to imprint a certain way upon you, don't they?
Feel me. Goop brought me back from the dead. So
Well,
his music is what I hear at every waking moment of my life.
I'm proud to say I thought that up myself. I know it's unbelievable, but I have a bit of a musical ear.
Holy
Can I
crap.
say? All right. So Stumpy is rowing you guys along. Again, this is just a bewildering environment. You never thought in your wildest dreams that you would be in such a crazy land, let alone being oared through a lake of lava through a dwarf.
Yeah.
Especially so for you, Nigel, when your sort of master wizard Nivix said, "Get out there and see the world." This certainly checks that box. You're okay. Yep, I did that. Been there, done that.
Yes, as the sweat drips over literally every part of my body, I'm going, yes, this is certainly an experience. Sure, I can feel that character building oozing out of every pore. This is fantastic. I'm very happy to be chasing after a giant lava dragon to try and harvest ticks off its back. This is great.
I will put my hand on his shoulder at first in like solidarity, and then I'm going to feel how like sticky, sweaty it is, and I'm going to retract it and kind of go like, ugh. Nigel, of course, you've got this, Nigel.
You
So much more than your master, honestly.
Thanks, Mandax.
But like, don't touch me though.
Yes. I can
Who
already
wants a
smell
hug?
their own musty aroma. It's fucking disgusting. Let's get this over and done. Can you row any faster, Stumpy?
I mean, if you want to hit, I bet we could roll faster.
Nigel could help, honestly.
He's a pretty
Nigel,
stout wizard.
wrap your hands in the cloak and try to grab onto one of those paddles.
I remember when Nigel was thin as a stick, but after we've been fighting these spiders, his shoulders are looking pretty broad and pretty thick.
Nigel has been buffing up. Nigel, grab this paddle and keep bulking, sir.
Don't burn your hands.
Yeah, but wrap your hands in your cloak in this delicious velvet.
You have
I-
such a nice party.
I will bow down to peer pressure.
Thanks, bruh. Okay. Do
I'm
you
going
even
to-
paddle, Nigel? Do you even?
I will wrap it up, barely take hold of the end next to Stumpy, and not really put any force into it, but really, much like a child who's pretending to do the chore and waiting for everybody else to actually finish the job, just I'm going to give the appearance of helping.
Sure. So Stumpy will kind of shift to one side. You'll feel the boat actually kind of rock a little bit, which freaks you guys out. Not like crazy amounts, but it certainly shifts with his weight going to one side. So you catch your balance there for a moment. Sit down next to old Stumpy. We'll make a rower out of you yet. And he kind of pats the sweat-laden seat that is next to him now. As you sit down, the oar is kind of just stuck in place. He stopped rowing so that you guys don't just turn in another direction. And you said you wrap your hand in the cloak?
Yes.
Okay. So as you wrap your hand in the cloak and you grab the metal oar, give me a, let's see, a Constitution save.
Okay, I've rolled a 17. Constitution is +2, 19.
Awesome. All right. So you kind of grit your teeth and bear it. You don't know exactly how long you're going to be able to keep oaring or paddling the boat as it would be, because the oar is fucking hot. It's not like instantly like move your hand away, you're searing your skin, but it is very hot and it starts to get painful. Give me a strength check.
You've got this, Nigel. I believe.
You guys shamed my manhood, and now I'm doing irresponsible, silly things to try and prove myself, okay?
No, we didn't shame it. We believed in it.
16.
16. All right, you're
Exactly.
able to get one revolution of this ore as it comes basically out of the lava. You have to put your other hand on it to get a full kind of revolution around again. Give me another Constitution save. How long do you want to try to keep doing this for?
Quit any time, Nigel.
Basically, I'll get like one small callus, maybe like a little baby callus, like something like that,
Okay.
maybe, and that's about it. I'm the moment there's any serious pain, I'm dropping it just like that. I'm a wizard, and I'm not as muscular as I might pretend to be. Was that a Constitution?
Yeah, give me another Constitution.
Well, it's good to know I'm using up all my dice rolls now, rather than in a seriously dire combat situation. That's great. We just got a 21.
Oh, very nice. The pain has not reached your brain in enough quantity yet that you feel like you have to stop. Give me another strength check, my friend.
Nigel is so strong.
What a
So
beast.
strong.
Proud of you, Nigel.
Right?
17.
Who the hell is that big gas wizard?
Ooh,
Nigel's that
17.
big gas wizard.
17. All right.
Maybe
Terrific.
Maybe I
kind
will
of
get myself a blade and become a warrior as well. I'm
Yeah.
getting ripped.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of get into a rhythm as again the lava laden ore scoops up out of the lava. You kind of hear the sizzle and pop as the drips go back into this lake. Essentially, you make it one more revolution. Are you gonna keep going? You gonna try for another one? I'll keep going until you want to stop.
If there's one person that's going to get excited by, their success and go too far, it is me. So yes, let's do it.
Absolutely. Constitution
Sure.
save to see if you can keep with the pain.
5.
No, you cannot. It begins to. Your hands feel not as if they're searing. You have used up whatever. You haven't used up, but you've reached the limit of whatever magical enchantment is on this cloak. You very quickly, but try to discreetly just back off from the oar. You try not to jolt out of place to keep your manly, not facade, but you ended this on your own terms. You stopped rowing because you chose to.
Yeah.
Goddamn right he did.
It's good
And
of you,
Stumpy
Nigel, to
will-
save your energy for the coming tasks.
Sure, like, it was a choice. It was a choice.
Stumpy will give you 2 solid pats on the back. Can you give me 2 dexterity saves?
I'd have rolled 6 for both of them, +2, 8 and 8.
All right, so you certainly lose your footing on the first one. The second one, you kind of fall over. You're not like face planting into the ground by any means, but you do stumble and have to kind of pick yourself up a little bit. Facade slightly ruined, but Stumpy is strong as all hell. And he'll kind of scoot back over, once again, shifting the weight of the boat so it's more in equilibrium. And he'll grab the oar that you previously held onto and continue rowing. That was very good, wizard. I don't think I've ever seen a human do more than half a row.
Well, I've been going through some hard times and growing stronger every day. I must say, you those are a truly impressive specimen. I don't know how the hell you're withstanding that heat, and your muscles are very large. I don't know how you are propelling us through this thick lava sludge so quickly.
Well, we've all got our skills, wizard. I might be a little better at faring the heat, but I bet I wouldn't do very good in the dagger reach.
The dagger reach?
Yeah, the dagger.
Yeah, you, Nigel, you know of that place. That's to the far northwest. That's like the icy, kind of glacial, almost North Pole-esque area. So he's saying essentially he wouldn't do well in the cold.
Consulting my my map as well, getting my bearings, just taking a little.
I'm going to clap Nigel on the back, friendly, not nearly as heartily as Stumpy might do, but like as a congratulatory. Well done, Nigel. Well done on those strokes.
Thank you.
Yeah. He'll actually after another couple of good rows. What are your names, by the way? You all know old Stumpy.
I'm Stumpy too.
Your name is Stumpy and you sound just like me.
Of course, that's
What are
because
the
my name's
chances?
Stumpy.
Whoa. I think I get a save technically against.
I'm the finest rower in the land.
I don't even know who is who right now.
Well, one of them has a beak. That's a clue.
Oh, that's great.
Be deceiving.
All right, so there's Stumpy. There's second Stumpy. Didn't know I had a brother. That's crazy. What about you? And he'll point at Nigel. He'll point at Nigel.
I am Nigel. No other title or name just yet, but perhaps one day I will have a great title of one of the master wizards in this world.
We'll come up with a title for you yet. How about you then?
Wait, me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't thought about it. I guess I go by Mendax. I am a tiefling, and I guess I should say I'm theatrically trained.
Huh. I've never been one for theatrics, but I'm glad that other people like it.
Oh, but Stumpy, you knew song. You love song, and that is a form of theater, Stumpy. Do not sell yourself short.
Stumpy just, does a tune every now and again. It's nothing to write home about, though.
Oh, nothing to write home about, except it's the basis of all culture and history of every race in the entire world. Song is what binds everyone together, Stumpy. Do not sell yourself so short. You've got a theatrical spirit, Stumpy. I can see it in you. I can see it in you and in your callous hands.
Yeah, let's get a. Are you lying to him, or do you believe this in some way?
He's been singing to me. He's been rowing hard. I have trod the floorboards of the theater for a long time, and I believe Stumpy actually is a kindred spirit.
All right, fair enough.
If I was lying, I would have gagged.
Give me a performance check on that.
Do that. I'm an actress. I have +4 performance. Theater.
Could I assist?
Yeah, of course. You can assist.
Who would like to please assist somebody? Please assist. Assist away.
So that
What did you get?
should be a +2.
Okay, excellent, because I rolled a 1, and I have a +4, and then you have a +2.
That's still probably not very good.
It's not very good, but it's better than a 1 +4.
That is true. So you got +6, so it's 7 total. Stumpy thinks you're definitely over embellishing and being nice. He appreciates it, but
Okay,
he
good. I'm
doesn't
fine. I'm not being a
necessarily.
I'm honestly not even being a shit this time. I did almost
Some
vomiting if I
people,
was.
some characters and NPCs have their own sort of vision of themselves, and it's hard for them to see themselves in any other way than that. So if Stumpy
guys-
doesn't think he's very good at theater, it's going to take probably a little bit more convincing.
Okay, well then I would like to whisper to my 2 compatriots, Nigel, Carl,
Yes. What?
before this part of our journey is over. Stumpy, he's had so much taken from him. He does not believe in himself. Bless you, DM. We need to give that belief back to Stumpy. He needs this from us. So while we go and attack this magma, please keep in mind, we need to involve Stumpy in the safest and most heroic ways possible. He needs to believe in Stumpy.
Am I drunk?
That would make 2 of us.
I might have some effects of the mushrooms left over, but my impression was that he was actually quite satisfied with his job, and he didn't seem to make too much of the problem of needing to chop his legs off. My impression was he's one of the most bold and brave individuals you've ever crossed paths with. He wasn't really a basket case we need a pat on the back. He's a stout dwarf.
He's not a basket case, but what Stumpy is showing us, compared to what Stumpy shows all of Tol Karabad, all of those dwarves with every appendage, versus Stumpy with half of his appendages. Do you think they would have? Why do you think they sent Stumpy on this fool's errand of a quest?
I have an idea. Maybe because he doesn't have all the boils and the disease all over him, so he's in good condition to row the boat.
Every one of those guards were healthy, and they had all of their appendages, and yet they sent Stumpy. Why? Because he was expendable.
You don't need
and we
legs
needed-
to row a boat.
Yes, you do. Have you ever rowed a boat, Carl? Nigel, tell him how much you had to use your leg strength to successfully execute those rows. You need leg strength to row a boat. What I'm saying is they thought, and I don't think he is, you don't think he is, we need to make sure that Stumpy knows he is not expendable by the end.
Well, you know, Mendax, I think I can answer this with a parable. When I was growing up in Master Nivix's tower, once at night I broke into the restricted section of his library. He said there the books had dark magics, mysterious magic, things too complicated, and fortunately for me, he did catch me before I managed to cast any spells, or attempt them, from within there. But there was one which I was about to cast, and it was called Astral Projection. And what that does is it can actually allow things to cross from one world to another, and you can actually project certain realities of your own into somebody else's dimension. And I think what is so dangerous there is that you can get things that aren't even related or correspondent and don't belong to each other confused, and things can become confounded and disturbing. And I think maybe not within different worlds, but within different people's own minds, we are seeing some form of projection right here and now. Maybe the realities here aren't exactly the same way you were seeing them.
Wait, so you're saying Stumpy does have legs?
That's exactly it. And I'll go back to nursing my slightly burnt hands.
Are you guys whispering? Or are you just like...
I was whispering. I'm assuming he was whispering back towards me and Carl. I assume that we were all just huddling together while Stumpy continued to listening.
While Stumpy continued to demonstrate that you can row a boat without legs.
Okay, however, if you have legs, you can row a boat better.
So now you're
will
criticizing
agree
his boat
that-
rowing skills.
No, not to him, not to him. I haven't grabbed those oars. I have no burn wish. Okay, I'm just saying that if you're rowing a boat, whether it's on fire or on water.
Or
The
sabotage.
physics of the thing says that if it takes leg strength. And now Stumpy has a good, excellent wheel base. Okay, he has a wheelchair. I'm assuming he locked those wheels, and that's why he has the force against which to row. But he doesn't seem to think that he has the ability to act or sing a shanty the way that the rest of us do, and he should. He should have those feelings. We should give him that confidence.
You do realize what's happening here. That we are having a debate on the mechanics of rowing a boat. The first time we are in a lake of fire. That is what we are prioritizing at this moment.
Well, to be fair, the first time we actually were in a boat together rowing across a lake, we got across it quite easily.
What do you mean easily? We were attacked by a tentacle monster.
But nobody even took any damage. Nobody took any damage. So it was quite easy. This is a little bit different. And also, long-term picture here, Carl. I'm trying to think of the well-being of our new companion.
That's very wholesome of you. And sometimes
I'm not very
amazed
wholesome at all.
at the care that you show to people you've known for only 10 minutes. It's an honor to have you with us.
You know what? I happen to very much like Stumpy. Okay, he has a theatrical spirit and he doesn't know it. As a patron of the theatrical arts, I feel like it's my duty to help grow that in him.
I would like to pat Mendax on the back gently.
Okay. Her back is super sweaty, but yes, you do it.
It's worth it.
First of all, I would like to say, DM, my back is glistening.
It's like drenched in sweat. It's as if
no,
you just jumped out of
I
a
would
pool.
disagree. Female
Your
tieflings-
hair is
No,
matted and dirty.
female-
It's just,
Female tieflings glisten, they do not sweat.
there's one female tiefling that sweats. That
No.
would be you.
That would not
I-
be new. I've never heard of that female tiefling, and I should know because I am a female tiefling. Heavily glisten, I do not.
Well, whether you are heavily glistening or just straight up sweating, Stumpy will call back from the back of the boat. Yeah, just let me know where you want to bring it over. I don't know where to get these crystals.
Stumpy, the crystals are at the top of the mountain where the lava is at its most fierce.
Yeah, I mean, there's like lots of mountains. Look around. There's like, they're all over the place. And like half of them are spewing lava right now. So, yeah, you just pick one. Let me know.
Stumpy,
Yeah.
which mountain are we on right now?
What? We're not on a mountain. We're in the lava lake.
What about that mountain?
Take us to that one, the one that Carl is pointing
That
at.
one. Do you see that one?
All right. So we'll say that you point at one of the many, many mountains that have lava just kind of like coming off to the sides, basically. So, yeah, Stumpy will row you guys up as close to the mountain as he can get, between like some of the lava flows, essentially, that the mountain has, so that you can safely get onto the rocks. Hold on, I'll anchor the boat. And he'll pull out one of the harpoons and he'll stab it into the side of like the blackened, almost bedrock of the mountain, and tie the chain to the boat. Yeah, I hope there's one up there.
All right. I would like to lead the way. I think we could probably leave Goop in the boat.
Ooh, I feel like Goop should follow us potentially, and we should leave Stumpy in the boat.
Goop is not going to be following us across a chain onto the mountain. I could carry him, but that is a burden that we must carry.
That is a very good point. Okay, you know what? Goop. Look at me. Look. Mendak. Cool. Mendax loves you, Goop. But Goop, we need you to stay in the boat. Do not look at me that way, Goop. Stay in the boat.
Goop is looking currently at Nigel. So if you put yourself between him and Nigel, it will appear as if he's looking at you. If that's what you want to do.
I'm doing, yes. I'm absolutely putting myself in between him and Nigel.
Okay.
In my spirit, I know he's looking at Nigel, but really, like Goop and I, we just do. Goop.
You got a bond.
Listen to the nice lady, Goop.
Say Goop. You stay in the boat. Goop. Nigel, please tell Goop. Stay in the Goop. Boat. Stay. Nigel, tell.
I would like to, while this is happening, look over at Stumpy and give kind of a knowing shrug. You know, as someone is talking to their cat for 45 minutes and you know that the cat can't understand a word of it.
Yeah, I'll watch your rock for you. That's fine.
Appreciate that very much, Stumpy.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so he's just chilling in the boat. He's got you guys. It's kind of, the boat's been pulled up right onto the edge of the mountain where, you know, it's sort of like a boat pulled up to a shore, essentially. There's a little bit of flat area that you guys can try to get your footing on before trying to head up to the top of this. Mountain is, I mean, it's not like a peak, you know, you're not going to spend days climbing this thing. You can see the top. It's going to take you a bit to traverse it just because of sort of the nature of the design of the mountain as well as the dangers that are inherent with it. But if it was a clear shot, it wouldn't take you very, very long at all.
I would like to lead the way then.
Absolutely. So where are you guys are just trying to head all the way to the top, is that right?
Yes, with exercising extra care not to step in lava.
Yeah, that's a very, very solid addition to make there. The mountain itself is, it's strange in a way, but the rock underneath your feet is almost cool. It's cooler than the boat is. You can see it's made of this shiny black, almost like onyx looking type material, more close to glass in a way than it is to rock. So it's very interesting to walk on, even for people who, or for rather, I think Mendax and Nitro are the only two that wear shoes. Even for you guys, you can tell it's almost not a slick surface, but very, very smooth, as if weathered through time by water, or in this case, lava. Yeah, and you guys can head up. There are, again, kind of lava flows that are coming down the mountain from the top. It's not like actively like spitting lava into the sky or anything like that, but overflowing, and the lava is sort of just draining down into the cauldron, if you will. You guys proceed forward. Call, there is an area here that there's no way to get around the lava. It is a small stream, but it's because of how dangerous it is, you take extra care to make sure that you step over it very carefully. Are all three of you guys heading along up this mountain?
Indeed.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, go ahead and just each give me flat D20 rolls. Let's see how your progress is up the mountain.
16.
5.
A 13.
16, 5, and 13. Call, your lack of shoes and the way that your feet or talons are basically designed, your feet basically, they kind of scratch the surface of the mountain. Ooh. More than get a good hold in them. Yeah, you're kind of almost like scratching glass. Like I said, it's this shiny, almost like black onyx material that you guys are walking on. At a couple of moments, or at a couple of times, your talons catch in such a way that it makes sort of a high-pitched like screech of almost nails on a chalkboard for a moment. and you stop to get your bearings. Several times you find it difficult to move forward as you're sort of traversing this rough terrain. Go ahead, give me another d20. Just call.
Oh my god, do not fall, Cole. Come on.
12.
Yeah, it's a difficult climb for you. It's not particularly an easy climb for everyone else, but for you specifically, the climb up the side of this mountain does have some big difficulties or not big difficulties, but it's a challenge for you to get all the way to the top. But within, I would say, 30 to 40 minutes, you guys are able to successfully reach what appears to be the peak of the mountain. You look back down, and you can see, like, all the way that you traveled, you get a sense of vertigo just for a moment as you look back down at the boat, and you see Stumpy and Goop just sitting in this, now what looks like a very tiny, not speck, I mean, you can still make out detail, but they are, they're quite a ways down. Stumpy will wave up at you guys, seeing that you've made it to the top. You think he might be trying to call out something to you. You can't hear what he's saying. He's very, very far away. But you've reached the top of the mountain. The way that it's designed, it's almost like a ring. Yeah, if you think of almost like a stereotypical kind of volcano, the very top of this is almost like a bowl, and inside there is all of this lava, all of this magma that's present. There are a few, or not magma, it's all lava since it's not in the earth science. There are a few kind of rocks that are jutting out the center, where you can see sort of breaking up the middle. You guys are just searching for the crystals, right? That's all you want to do up here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you could each give me an investigation we'll use for this. And you're not quite looking for clues, but you're trying to discern your surroundings as best as possible.
Okay.
9 plus 4 is 13.
Okay.
2 plus 5 is 7.
And
Okay.
7 plus 5 is 22.
7 plus 5 is...
Sorry, 17 plus 5.
I was trying to pull a
okay.
fast one on the DM.
Then the math is absolutely 17 plus 5. I will train the camera on if I need to. 17 plus 5.
17
I'm
7 plus 5 is 22.
I'm
Quick
not
math.
just fine with the actual
All right, awesome. We'll say Call and Nigel, you guys, again, you're sort of fanning out in both directions. You don't see anything that poses a present danger to you other than the environment itself, and you feel comfortable splitting up a little bit. Your searches don't yield too much. Mendax, you're not turning up too much either, but you do notice about 8 feet out into the lava, there is one of the rocks jutting up out of the lava, does have that red glint, looking very similar to those crystals, to the crystal that you guys have back in the boat.
Nigel, Cole, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Do you see that crystal over there? It looks a bit red. It looks like a bit like the red crystals.
You mean that bit of red in the sea of orange?
I mean, honestly, yes.
I think I do see
We
that.
have
Yes, I think I see a glint there. So is it? What's the distance from us right now?
It's about 8 feet out into the lava.
Okay. And I'm going to create a mage hand, a spectral
Oh.
floating hand, to try and pick it up.
All right, absolutely. Let me look over Mage Hand here. I think that sounds legit.
Yeah. So it's a 30 feet range, and I can pick up something up to 10 pounds.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll work. The only thing that is going to prove a little bit difficult for that is like prying the crystal off of the rock. So you summon this mage hand. Again, this sort of ethereal, very blue, spectral-looking hand appears in front of you, Nigel. and it essentially floats over to the crystal. And as the hand tries to grab and pick up the crystal, you notice that it's stuck, right? I mean, these things they kind of grow off of these rocks in a way. So you don't think the hand has enough strength to pry the crystals off, but you do think that it would have enough to carry it over if it wasn't attached.
Can I shoot? Can I shoot an arrow at the crystal?
You can do whatever you want.
I'm going to fire a goddamn arrow at this crystal.
It's 8 feet away into the lava, right?
It's about, yeah, so you guys are standing on a, not like right up against the edge, but up on the edge of the sort of rim to the bowl of the lava that's inside of the mountain here. 8 feet out into the pool. There are a couple little like rocks and other debris that are in there, but this rock that's jutting out closest to you guys, yeah, there is like a grouping of one of these crystals underneath.
I do have a 10-foot halberd. I could use that and try to break it free of whatever it's stuck on.
Honestly, it's even better than my arrow at this point. Yeah, why not?
Absolutely. So that is going to put the range of the halberd at its limit there. But you can definitely reach. I think your halberd, yeah, it has a 10-foot reach. So absolutely. Do you want to? Yeah, give me an attack. You're essentially trying to precision hit this one area. It's not too crazy, but
see what we can do.
Okay. Is that the cast bird?
Oh.
Call the king. Is that the cast bird? He has a halberd. He knows how to use the halberd. Whatever. It's for workshopping it.
I admire improv in all its forms.
What do we got, Mr. Call?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh no! Tell me, my friend.
I don't want to talk about it.
I know.
Let's just move on.
I don't know if we can.
I got a 1.
It's fine.
I got a natural 1.
Oh my god! All right, that's not good. Well, let's see
Goodbye,
here.
+1 halberd.
It was excellently sharpened by a dwarven smithy. What the heck?
All right, I left it up to the dice, and Call the dice. The dice are not having it today. Call, you as many times before, your trusty halberd, been your constant companion over these past 8 months, 9 months on your journey.
I'm ready to cry.
You heft it into the air again. The shine, the gleam, catching the lava, and just see how precision sharp this bad boy is. You very confidently just bring the axe head down onto the crystal. It shears it in half, almost a little too easily. Nigel, your mage hand has the crystal free. You're able to pull it back. Call, your strike is too true, and you overshoot how much strength you need as the head of the halberd takes a plunge into the lava beneath the crystal, my friend. You quickly realize what happened and try to pull the halberd back out, but realize that the lava instantly has disintegrated the wood that the second half of your halberd was attached to.
Oh no!
Is it at least like, Cal, pull it back?
I tried. The wood, it melted. The halberd, it's fucked. This halberd has been with me for as long as I've been a birdbarian. Weapons can be replaced. For now, I guess I will resort to slapping the shit out of people.
No, you will not, Cal. No, you will not.
I can't get it back. It's in the lava.
You can't get that weapon back, but I can give you my rapier, and I still have a dagger and a bow for myself. I would like to give my rapier to Cal.
Absolutely. Yeah, Call, you do have sort of the bottom half of the wooden pole, right? That was attached to the end of it is kind of caught on flame a little bit, but quickly goes out as the blackened remain of the end of it sort of sizzles a bit, and smoke enters into the air. If you want to keep if you want to keep that, you're more than welcome to. But Mendax in solidarity, at least hands you her weapon.
Just in solidarity, I want to grasp Carl's face. I would like to grasp both sides of his cheekbones, his beak bones, as it were, and look him dead in the windows of his soul and tell him, Carl, you are more than your halberd, sir. You are more than any weapon. And I will give anything, including my rapier, to you to continue this quest. Do not think for one even slightest moment that by losing that halberd, you have diminished yourself in any way, sir. You take this rapier, and we shall continue on. We shall continue on, and we shall succeed.
Well, I will tell you, Mendax. I am actually rather sad, but it is my hope that the head of this halberd will reach the halls of wherever Stumpy's legs went, and they can be happy together.
And it will.
Stumpy's legs have gained a new weapon today.
Yes.
The second half of Call's halberd.
It absolutely will, Call. Because the head of your halberd is not with us in this moment does not mean it is gone. It will live on. And it will live on stronger and fiercer if you fight behind it.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure it would melt. You said it was molten rock. It just fell into molten rock. It would probably melt.
Some of this is, honestly metaphor, Carl. And you're just going to have to roll with it.
What's a metaphor?
It's something that stands for something bigger than itself. So,
Like Nigel's
one
wand?
arrow stands for the piercing force of an entire people. Something like that, Carl. It's fine. You'll grasp onto it. What I'm saying is, take my rapier. Your halberd is dead.
Oh.
Yes, Call, you have Mendax's rapier. You can add that to your inventory for now. I can go ahead. I'll try to add that for you while we continue along. Actually, you might just have to refresh your page here.
I'm going to remove it from mine. It is removed from mine because I trust Carl. I know Carl will do well.
Thank you, Mendax. I will try my best not to throw your rapier into the lava.
You know what, Carl? Honestly, even if you do throw it into the lava, it's probably about the same as I would have done with it. So you really can't do so much worse. You can't.
But we did retrieve the crystal in all this.
Yes, exactly. We did get one extra or two. There was a large crystal. I don't know, Nigel. How handsy were you? How mage handsy were you? Did you left and right hand in these crystals?
How did I do?
Yeah, so you were able to retrieve one of the crystals. It was only one of them looked like it looked similar to the one that you had. Was enough kind of design and size, if you will. It's sort of like almost like a flower of crystals in a way. So yeah, you have one. You got one successfully, retrieved it at the cost of a dear friend and a constant weapon. You do have one of the crystals. Do you guys want to continue searching up here for any more, or are you going to head back down to the boat?
I feel like we should at least try to search a little bit more, right? The red crystals are at the zenith of every volcanic apex. If we're here, we found this one. Should we not search for another one, or should we just go back to the boat and have Stumpy row us to another peak?
Before we go,
Take a minute.
I would like to take a moment to simply stand straight and upright, shoulders back, and slam the rod in the ground and take a moment in contemplation and memory of all the good fighting that has happened with this halberd.
And I do not have a halberd. I obviously don't even have my rapier any longer, but I do have a bow. And so I'd like to take the edge of my bow and slam it on the ground to the point where it doesn't cause damage to the bow itself, but it creates noise in solidarity to what Carl is trying to do.
It's a sort of-
I would like to cast an improved minor illusion to make a little animated movie in front as much as I can of basically spiders dying and getting chopped to pieces and cleaved in twain by halberd.
Okay, absolutely. So yeah, Call, you essentially, you stab this half of a polearm essentially into the ground, and the ground gives way in a way that's more of like it's cracking as opposed to like soft dirt or anything like that. You don't feel like the structural integrity is messed up, but this wood, this pole will stay here if you leave it. So you've essentially stabbed it into the ground. If you want to leave it there, it will stay there until it burns up. Mendax, you feeling very inspired for a moment. You pull out your bow and tink, kind of clank it on the ground. You really don't think you can hit it too hard. The ground is much harder than the soft sand or dirt that you guys were in previously. But Nigel, you weave an illusion sort of in front of the lava that sort of fades out as you see basic forms and shapes appear of spiders being cleft in twain, of tentacle monsters being destroyed, and of those bandits being sliced in half under the weight of the mighty halberd that Call once had. And you almost see like a ghostly form of that halberd at the end as like a little twist and little spice on it as it fades off into the distance and dissipates. You feel.
And, oh, sorry. I just wanted to add that because I have improved minor illusion, I add sound effects as well. So every single slash and kind of cleave, there was like lots of great gory noises, as well as lots of good kind of real metallic swishes and that sort of thing added in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's uncanny, Call. It's almost as if your memory playing in front of you. It's such vivid detail from the adventures you had with your halberd, my friend. It feels like a right moment. It feels like a time where you can let go for all of the service that this halberd has done for you.
No weapon lasts forever. This one has served me well. May you rejoin the rock and steel and metal of the earth. I guess we should move on with the quest.
I'm going to put a hand on the Carl's shoulder and just stand there in solidarity with him.
Thank you
Absolutely.
for the support.
I'll pat you on the shoulder and resume looking for red crystals. I'm sweating a lot.
Yeah, it is very hot up here.
I don't say anything, but honestly, Nigel, you're so sweaty.
Yeah, if you guys want to try to search for more crystals up here, you can try to search essentially the other half side if you would like.
I mean, I feel like we're here.
And if you would like to continue searching, I'll take another investigation for that.
And continue to search. I mean, honestly, we're already here. So I feel like it takes less to search here right now than it would to get to some other place and then search.
Yep, I'm already rolling. 10 for me.
Okay. What did you get, Mendax and Call?
Sorry, a D20?
17.
Yeah.
I have a +5 on investigation, so 17.
I got a 3.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's an investigation. So I think it's 3. Your investigation's 4. You'd have a 7. All right. Let me take a look here.
give me that investigation. I watch all of the
Nigel, what did you roll again?
WayfarersDnD shows. I know all the investigation strats.
Nigel, what did you roll?
Oh, sorry, 10.
A 10. Okay. You see what could be a crystal on the opposite end. Basically, you guys traverse to the other side of this mountain, or the lava bowl, if you will. And you see a kind of a outcropping, almost like an alcove. And inside, you see what might be a crystal in there. You can't see. There's no light that's shining inside, but you see it's the rough shape. It looks like the correct size. But it's in there about 4, maybe not 4, like 3.5, 4 feet into this sort of little alcove.
I can shoot a firebolt in just to illuminate it.
I know.
Absolutely.
Just to double check that is what we're looking
It's not
at.
going to hurt it. It won't hurt
It's a
it.
crystal. It'll be
It
fine.
lives in magma, so why not?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can go ahead and you're shooting a firebolt, right? You said?
Yes, just launching a firebolt straight at it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you do the same sort of swish and flick maneuver that you are all too familiar with from all of the firebolts that you've shot in your life now. And it kind of takes up almost the full size of this outcropping here. It's not huge by any means. As it hits the back and dissipates into flame, you do see for a moment a red glint appear, and something in the back there scurry away further back into the alcove.
I just saw scurrying. So cool. We might get to kill something while we're here as well. Who wants to go get it?
Wait, like, are we talking like spider scurrying or like humanoid pirate scurrying?
So to try to just to describe it a bit more, it's like an opening, maybe 2.5 feet in diameter, maybe. It's pretty small. It's not like a cave. It's just like a small sort of outcropping here where the lava formed in such a way that it created almost like a small, essentially small little cave that goes back.
They might just be some sort of, not giant spiders, but regular sized lava spiders. Something that feeds on the heat or something in this environment up here. But so could we get to that alcove? Can we get closer to it?
Yeah,
Like working our way around the edge, right?
So you're right near it. So you walk to the other side, and you kind of ducking, you duck down, and that's where this thing caught your eye, and then you shot that fireball, or the firebolt rather, and you confirmed that there is a crystal that's in there. You could reach your arm in there and grab it technically. It's that close to where you are now. And it's within range. You could certainly do that if you wanted to.
Then, okay, I don't want to. Obviously, all my knowledge comes from the theater, which means I know of. I know of the role of tree number 7 in this play. However, I've been told that these creatures are quite docile. So if we have one person who is able to reach out and snatch this third gem from the back of these ticks, that could be all we actually need. I don't like ever volunteering myself for these kinds of things, but I can't volunteer myself for the blood, so I will if we need me to do it.
I
will
expect it to
press
be
my
jammed
out
in
and
the.
grab one of these ticks out. Off of the back.
I expect it to be wedged in quite tight. So do we have any tools that can dislodge it? Other than halberds, of course.
The halberd is gone. I personally do have a dagger that I still have on my body. I could reach out and try to use my dagger to dislodge the gemstone.
Carl's super strong. I'm gonna hand Carl one of my rocks, one of my 5-pound rocks. Maybe you could smash it out, Carl.
Sure. Could get some frustration out.
That's right. You just let it loose, Carl. Let it loose.
I'll smash it with this rock.
Yeah, absolutely. So in order to do that, so you take the rock from Nigel. In order to do that, you'll have to kind of lay flat-ish on the ground so that you can get your arm into such a position that you can reach into this outcropping and try to take some hits at the crystal. Is that cool?
As long as it's not so hot that it's gonna injure me, yes.
No, the kind of like how I mentioned before, the ground is surprisingly cool for the environment that you're in. It's not cold, but it is certainly not as scorchingly hot as you would assume it would have been. If this was like dirt or sand or even just seemingly regular rock, it certainly would be way too hot for you to do this. But you are surprisingly comfortable to do so, almost as if you're kind of cooling off a little bit.
Well, sure. I'd like to go for it.
Awesome.
I will try to get ready as well and have a mage hand ready just to try and catch anything that, stop it from falling into the lava if I can.
Sure, absolutely. So it shouldn't really be in too much danger of falling into the lava. It's not anywhere near the edge. You guys are a little bit down here. There's no lava that's super close to you, so you should be okay. But you can have the mage hand at the ready in case it does kind of slip past you guys and begin to fall down the mountain, as that would be. Neuro, Mr. Call, give me it's an improvised strike here. So just give me a d20 and then plus 5, because that's your strength modifier and your proficiency bonus.
That's a good one. That's good.
15 plus 5 is 20.
That is exactly what that math works out to be. Well done.
Absolutely. You have sort of this super hefty rock, we'll say. So give me a d4 damage plus 3 from your strength here. So go ahead, roll me a d4. Tell me what you got.
4.
4. Okay, so total of 7 then.
Yes.
You feel the crystal, it's beginning to shift and move, but you don't think that one strike is quite enough. You do feel like you'll have to go for another.
Bring it on. I will roll.
All right, give me
again.
another.
Go again. Shit up, Carl. Go.
8. With the...
Is that with the plus 5?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. I mean, it's a stationary target. There's not a whole lot.
It's not fighting back. It's not fighting
Again.
Yeah, it's not moving around. It's not moving around. So no, I mean, the 8 is fine. The 8's fine. You don't have to roll again after that one. Give me another d4 though, plus 3.
2 plus 3 is 5. Quick maths.
Quick maths. All right, so total of 12 points. You feel the crystal dislodge from the ground that it was essentially growing off of. At the same time that you feel this crystal like pushed out from the rock, you do feel something brush up against the back of your hand. What would you like to do? You kind of have a moment to react. Are you going to try to grab the crystal and get your hand out, or what do you want to do?
Yes, I would go for that. I think I can get the heck out, perhaps.
Yeah. You give me. Let's see. Do you need anything for that? No. It's a pretty small opening, so I think you would be fine to. You drop the rock that Nigel gave you inside the cave, and quickly fish your hand out while grabbing the crystal on the way out. And you don't feel anything else. You're able to retrieve this crystal out from there with no ill effects.
What could have been in there? I felt something brush up against my hand. Maybe it was one of those creatures scurrying about you saw, Nigel?
Yes, I saw something scurrying in there. Who knows? This is a rare biome, if you will. An area where a creature here may be worth something. If you guys like money, maybe we can try to grab it.
mean,
but,
What if
I
it's one of
have
the
no
ticks?
idea.
I mean, I feel like it's been well established that I obviously adore money.
What if it's one of the ticks that would have the blood that we need and we wouldn't have to deal with the huge monster?
So true. So true. Okay, so we have 3 of the red gems right now, correct?
Didn't we only need 2?
Yes.
We only needed a great 2. We started out with one from Stumpy, and we immediately got another one because of the mage hand from Nigel, and then we expended some other activities and got a third one. So we have 3 red gems right now that we could take and try to lure one of the magma risks. If I'm not incorrect, and granted, I'm a theatre person, so math is not my strong suit. But I do believe we have 3 of the red gems that we need.
The dwarf from earlier that you guys spoke with said you would need at least 2, maybe 3 extra.
So we have 3. So we have at least 2, definitely 3. So we should be good to go to try to go through the magma, look for the bubbles, and throw the red stones, the red crystals, into the bubbles of the magma to draw out the magma disc. Who will, according to what they say, oh dear, all the lords, save us, will be very, very sleepy and allow us to grab the ticks from its back and extract the blood.
Yes.
Yeah, so he said 10 two extra crystals, 3 if you want to be safe.
So we have enough.
A total of 3 or 4 to be safe.
And we have a total of 3 right now. We have a total of 3 crystals. If we want to be extra safe, we can go for a 4th set of crystals. But right now we have 3 crystals.
We're gonna call this episode math. Nothing else. We're just gonna call this episode math.
Okay. Like, let's
Yes.
be real. Mendax was a theatre major. She had no choice in the matter. Okay, so she only knows so much in terms of numbers.
Let's
so
just
I don't
go get another
appreciate
one.
She does not appreciate your judgment on this matter.
We could just get another one.
We could get one more. We have 3. We could get 4.
Yes.
So while this discussion has been going on, they've been debating. Carl's been kind of shaking his head a little bit, confused. Mendax has been crunching
Very
the numbers.
happy.
I've actually been sitting cross-legged over on the other side. I've pulled out a piece of string and wood, and I've actually summoned an unseen servant for fun.
Okay.
It takes 10 minutes, but that was 10 minutes of maths. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna get my unseen servant, which is basically an invisible, mindless, shapeless medium that
Mhm.
performs simple tasks. I'm going to send it in to scurry around and reach around and try to pull out this creature in there, or these little scurrying creatures, and collect some spiders or ticks or whatever this is in that alcove. And I want to pull it out and bring it over so I can see what the hell it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me take a look at Unseen Servant. I don't know if they can can they
Creature.
retrieve?
Yeah, they can fetch things
They
clean.
can,
They
they
can
can.
mend, fold clothes, light fires, serve
Got
food,
it.
the whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at Nigel. Nigel's like,
Absolutely.
third man might actually arcana dick on all of this shit.
Yeah, so you send your unseen servant the unconscious command to move inside of this outcropping and try to pull out whatever was in there, essentially. And the whatever you can give whatever form you want to the servant. It's kind of like mage hand. It's up to you. It can just be invisible and shapeless. You can do whatever you want. Kind of that's the RP side of it. So
I
if
can
you feel
actually
like-
choose. Fantastic. Well, it's definitely an Igor type character.
Okay.
It has the face of the sheriff of Lakewood because he was such a lovely fellow who I loved interacting with. He won't be able to speak. That's the reason I can put up with him. He doesn't open its mouth. It's the good version.
Understood. Yeah, so you see the spectral embodiment of Igor for a moment there as it sort of formlessly sinks into the Rocky Mountain, essentially. And after a few moments, you hear some kind of scurrying, scraping, almost again like against glass. And out from the inside of the alcove, your servant pulls out a kind of hand-sized, kind of brilliantly colored, like red beetle.
Beetle?
Yeah, so like a big bug. It's almost as shiny and red as the gems are.
Okay. Okay, Stumpy. Why would you hold on to this until just now? Stumpy, what does this beetle mean?
He's at the bottom of the mountain. Are you just using a speaking voice?
I'm yelling! Quiet now!
Okay.
How far away? I don't think he can hear us, right? Is he a few hundred?
You
200
guys are
yards?
very far away. It took you like an hour to climb up the mountain. He can't hear you. You can yell all you want though.
Stumpy is not cardiovascularly as advanced as the rest of us. It's fine.
But he's not a biologist. He's not going to tell us about every flora and fauna in this land. He's a rower. He rows the boat.
I feel like you should tell us about the important parts.
That's what you got. You got the beetle. You do with that information as you will.
I will forgive you for what you don't tell us right now. I'll forgive you.
Does it look like
Tell
it
us
might?
what you know. But tell us what you know, Stumpy. But I won't yell at you. I won't yell at you if you don't. But like, tell us what you know.
I'm gonna tell the sheriff, as I'm referring to my unseen servant, to just carry the beetle. And I think we should head back to the boat now, since we've found as many crystals as we can up here, right? We've searched the area pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, definitely. You guys feel like you've searched around up here for the past 15-20 minutes or so, scouring the sides of the mountain. You're more than welcome to continue trying to search around up here. Maybe you'll get lucky, find another one. But you do feel that you've given it a good once over.
I've got an opinion. Fuck this mountain.
Okay.
Let's go to a different one. Find some crystals somewhere else. I don't know why I'm just getting a bad vibe from this one. Actually, I know exactly why I lost my halberd. I would like to grumpily advance down the mountain.
Absolutely.
I appreciate all of Cal's intuitions, and I will back him on this. So if he likes to move forward down the mountain, into the mountain, past whatever weapons kind of exposition we have, I'm going to support him in that. Let's keep moving.
Absolutely. How are you going to store this beetle, Nigel? What are you going to do with your new friend?
Miss
I
Nuna.
was hoping it would be quicker on the way down the mountain, so the sheriff would be able to carry him all the way to the boat, and then I could consult Stumpy for more information before having to make a decision. But when I sense the sheriff waning, if we're not at the boat yet, I'll make a decision then.
Super waiting. Like honestly, I don't want to be a dick about this shit, but Nigel, shove it in already.
I'm not sure if it'll be able to escape or what it can burrow through. It lives in molten rock in this crazy environment.
Whether or not it can escape has nothing to do with myself or Carl. That's on
You've got
you.
to respect the beast. We don't understand its power yet, you know? You can't disrespect it.
Oh my god. Fair enough. I will certainly take that, Nigel. Your unseen servant can transport the beetle down the mountain with you guys for as long as it's alive. And if you do sense, you'll definitely know when it's about to dissipate, and you can take whatever action you need. Yeah, we'll say, let's take a look here. Yeah, the climb back down the mountain doesn't take you guys nearly as long as it took you to go up. Going up was certainly a lot more arduous, and you were learning the environment for the first time. Now that you're just heading down the mountain, not only can you be a little bit more expedient with the situation, but you're more familiar with the footing and how best to conduct yourself. So we'll say it takes you about 10, maybe 15. It'll probably take you at least 15 to 20 minutes to get down, about half the time. So about halfway down the mountain, Nigel, you do know that your servant's going to dissipate kind of soon. So what would you like to do?
Okay. All right.
Do you want me to carry it?
So, can I do a check? Does this look more like a tick or a beetle? Can I tell if this is a tick by any chance? And Carl, do you know if this is a tick at all? I don't really know what ticks look like.
Yeah, you guys can do a basic, whoever would like to can do a nature check here to see if you can distinguish the difference between a beetle and a tick. That's fine.
I got 17 total.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not too difficult for you, Call. Your race of Kenku, unfortunately, are plagued by ticks every now and again. You're more than familiar. Not only are they annoying, but they can be kind of a nice snack for you guys. This is not a tick. This is a beetle.
Based on my experience of our people being harassed by ticks and sometimes eating them ourselves as a delicacy, which has a nice crunch to it, I would like to say that this is not one. It has a different bodily shape, and if it was a tick, it's not a very effective one.
Fair enough. In that case, can I? How strong does it seem? Can I put it just in my pack?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of curled up defensively, if you will. Yeah, you could put it in your pack. It's not really moving too much in your unseen servant's hands, I guess.
Okay. I'll put it in my pack, and I'll shift my pack and carry it on my front and keep an eye on it to make sure it can't. If it starts wriggling around or anything, then I'll just squash it. Yeah, but I don't want to. I really want to let Stumpy see this and show him my people. I want him to be proud.
I see. Okay, understood. Yeah, absolutely. So the rest of the way down, the next 10 minutes, the beetle doesn't really make too many movements. It doesn't move around too much. It does, towards the bottom, start to kind of uncurl itself and try to become familiar with its environment. Seeing as it's in sort of like a dark area now. You can feel it shifting around slightly, but whenever you check on it, it doesn't seem like it's really doing anything all that bad. So you figure, it's probably fine. Yeah, you guys make it back down to the boat. Stumpy is sitting there, just kind of swishing some of the oars in the lava, trying to pass the time. Goop is exactly where you guys left him, just standing completely still. As soon as Nigel gets within about a we'll say 10-foot proximity, it turns to kind of meet your direction better. And yeah, you guys are able to successfully get back in the boat. 2 crystals in hand, plus 1 beetle. Stumpy is quite happy at your return. Oh, good job. Did you guys get lucky?
We got more than lucky, Stumpy. We got 2 crystals, and I have a new pet. His name is Beetle. Check him out.
Beetle? Yo, let me see. And yeah, so if you show him, like if you open the pack and kind of show it to him, he'll kind of rub his hands together. Oh, you did find something special indeed, Nigel. And he'll reach in and he'll grab the beetle out and he'll look at it for a second. It's like glinting in the light. The orange from the lava is really playing off of the red and almost gold features that this beetle has. It looks damn near like a gem itself. And yeah, as he's holding it up, he brings it back down and he cracks it in half, and he kind of slurps out some of the meat from the beetle that's in there. Oh, it's just delicious. Nigel, try some. And he hands you the other half.
Ah, I was hoping maybe it had some magical properties or as an alchemical ingredient, but I guess if it's a local delicacy, I am trying to expand my horizons.
Slurp it down.
Yeah, so do you want to eat this beetle? All
I
right.
take a big slurp. I imitate him exactly. Zero fear.
All right. So almost the consistency of like an oyster. You slurp down the contents of the beetle
It's like
in the exact same nature that Stumpy does. What you taste is spicy, almost like a mixture of very, very sweet and very, very spicy at the same time. You get a bitter undertone from it, you don't even want to imagine what that is. But overall, it's a very, very pleasant, tasty morsel.
Damn. That actually wasn't half bad. A bit spicier than what I'm used to, Stumpy, but... Oh, what do you call that thing?
A beetle?
A beetle.
Yeah, all of the beetles around here, I don't know, they just have that kind of pizzazz, that spice to them. I don't really know what the difference between them are. I see a beetle, I eat a beetle. Stumpy is a very simple wolf.
You two should try this. It's rather fantastic.
I would like to try some.
Yeah, there's enough contents left, we'll say, in both halves to not necessarily get a full bite like Nigel and Stumpy had, but there's enough there for you guys to test it out. Very similar experience all around. It's very, again, it's like slurping a spicy but oddly sweet oyster. So you do with that information as you will. Some people hate the consistency of oysters. Some people love it. So that's just up to you.
Speaking as a Kenku, I find this to be excellent. Thank you for sharing.
No worries. It's quite a good local delicacy.
It's a little
Have
bit.
we lost Mendax?
Yeah, I think our frame might be frozen. Yeah, it is. I'm not sure if she's still in the call or not here.
I have heard that Comcast cares today. Apparently, a lot of people having issues. I'm not sure if she's with them.
I am the call.
Zero issue with me on my actual end. Hello?
Hi.
Hey,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
I've heard you all the entire time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. The video is frozen, but the audio is good.
Oh, well, okay, I'll just hold still, but I will at least talk. Yes, nothing is frozen on my end, but,
Yeah.
let's-
Not sure exactly. Yeah, Stumpy, I'll say, well, great job. Now what? Are we fishing this thing up, or what are we doing?
Well, we have 3 crystals that we obtained from this mountain. We also lost a halberd, which I'm rather sad about, but we can't be helped now. We need 1 more crystal to be safe. I think you said with this many, we could probably bring it out.
we have 3, but to be safe, we need 1 more.
That seems smart. Always better to be safe than sorry. That's what Stumpy says. Or that's what I say now.
You're so smart. I love you, Stumpy.
All right. Which mountain are we going to now?
That one!
Okay, so you point to one of the kind of indiscriminate mountains that are off a ways.
Definitely.
You gotta think about that one.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll unhook the harpoon from the black onyx of the side, and will take you guys over to the mountain that you pointed to. It takes you, I don't know, all of about 5, maybe 10 minutes. And he'll do a similar procedure as you're going away from the mountain. Cole, you look back, you can see up there the bottom half of the halberd that you kind of planted into the ground, and you can see that it's on fire. kind of in the distance there. I don't know, somehow it feels like justice is done.
I would like to solemnly stand firm in thanks for a mighty weapon.
Absolutely.
Pretty metal send-off, too.
I had to back him up 100%.
Not many weapons get to be buried in lava, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you guys, you make it over to the other mountain. Similar situation, similar kind of traversing necessary for this one. And he, once again, takes the harpoon and kind of slams it into the side of the mountain and chains up the side of the boat. Same as before then, I guess? Are you heading up there?
Yes. We just need one more.
All right, good luck.
And I'll just use this rapier to knock a crystal free.
Running out of weapons.
Yeah.
It's okay. I have 4 more
You
rocks
can
we can
draw at
use.
this point.
Yeah, go ahead and let's see here. All right. Yeah, this mountain proves to be a lot easier than the previous one. You guys feel like you have your footing. You feel like you understand how you're supposed to traverse this strange kind of almost glass-like ground. You're able to make it to the top again. I would say this time it's 25 minutes. So pretty quickly, it's a very similar looking situation to the previous one. There's a lot more rocks on this one that protrude out into the middle. It almost looks like, well, actually, it does look like you could safely cross over the middle of this area, but there is lava pockets that are kind of bubbling up from underneath these rocks. So you do want to be careful if that is what you're going to do.
I would like to exercise extreme caution.
Yes.
Okay. Absolutely. Go ahead and give me investigation rolls from each of you guys. We'll keep that going.
14 total.
16.
I'm looking at my. That's not my mouse. This is a mouse. Okay. 15 plus investigation total. 15 plus 2, so 17. 17.
Okay, you guys all rolled pretty similarly. Yeah, you each look around your respective areas, but very quickly, almost, not unanimously, but we'll say fairly quickly within each of you noticing, you see the familiar red glint of a crystal that's out towards the middle of this lava area. You think that the rocks and sort of the jagged, the jagged rocks that have kind of pushed its way up through the mountain were harboring this crystal from deep within the earth. So you see it's a pretty sizable one, too. It's probably about, I'd say 15 feet towards the center of the mountain and then another 10 feet up. The terrain is a bit more difficult, like I mentioned. The rocks look very jagged. They don't look extremely stable. It looks like a mass of them that have risen out of the lava, and it doesn't look like they're necessarily connected to the sides of the mountain so much as they're floating on top of the lava and don't have anywhere else to go.
Well,
I mean, I don't want to say it, but I feel like I'm the most nimble of the three of us left, and I feel like I have the best chance at grasping at one of these minerals.
well, I trust your skill in acrobatics.
I'm well practiced in bravely standing back and let others do the dirty work.
Whew, okay, then I would like to let my acrobatics stand the test of these abilities and before with flipping through the air to try to grasp a semblance of a foothold these red crystals.
Okay, absolutely. So using your acrobatics, this is a situation that is certainly almost tailor-made for you. You're definitely quite skilled in traversing very unsteady locations as you traverse many rooftops and tight ropes through your career as not only a rogue but also as an actor. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check, and then we can go from there with your turn.
I found the die, and so, no, here we go, we're fine. It's good, we're good. Okay, acrobatics check. Oh! Nat 20, but I have a +7 acrobatics, so 27. 20 mother effing 7.
Very well done.
Yeah, excellent. So this is your element. You certainly feel at ease. Almost as if you have the uncanny ability to detect what stones are solid and which ones will give way. You very nimbly, basically just shoot across the rocks here. And there's no disturbance in any of the environment at all. You don't break a single rock. And you very quickly make it up to the crystal itself. How are you going to break it free?
I'd like to bitch slap it backhandedly with the force of Carl's muscles.
Well, you have to roll a big strength check for that.
You're
Yeah,
going
I
to
know.
hit it with your hand?
I would like to
Don't break your
not
hand.
just like
Don't break
not
your
like-
hand.
I would do that, yeah. Not like flat backhand it with my hand, but I would like to like stab at it with my dagger.
Why not the hilt of the dagger? Yeah.
I mean, like,
Hit it with
okay,
the
but
base
like
of the weapon.
this dagger,
Fuck.
so there's not much between the tip and the hilt. It's just a dagger. So like,
Mendax.
you know what I mean? Like the tip of a rapier versus the tip of a dagger. It's much different.
Some
Basically, it's
tips are
about
much larger than others, but sometimes it's something round that actually carries the weight and is most impressive. So I'm going to toss one of my rocks over to you. How far away is it?
Yeah, she's like, it's total distance. I said 15 feet in, 10 feet up, like it'd probably be something like 12 feet away.
Carl, can you throw this up to her? I think you're strong enough. You'd be more accurate throwing it up that high and upwards.
Sure. I can hold the rock, and then when Mendax is ready, I could throw the rock.
Here, throw it, sir. Throw it.
Yep, go ahead and give me a strength check from Call and a dex save from Mendax.
It's not my day. It really isn't. I've had some
What do we
days. I've had a battle 3 before the modifier, which is I think 5, so 8.
8? All right. Mendax, what do you have? What did you get for your dexterity save? I don't know if she's here. We may have lost her. I don't know if she's changing some audio settings because I know we had reports of like, and I was having a hard time hearing her at some times. But yeah, I think her mic might be out.
No worries.
So
Yeah,
can you roll a dex save for her?
I could indeed roll a dexterity save for her. My goodness, I get to take control of one of the player characters. Their fate is in my hands.
Uh-oh.
Jeez. Oh man, I'm rolling real well. I don't know. Are you back, Ash? Okay, we still can't hear you, but we will carry on. So I rolled an 18 for Ash, for Mendax here, so 24. Coupled with the throw that was an 8, the stone makes the distance, but it's a bit off target. Mendax, however, is able to anticipate the direction that this is going to fly almost immediately, and sort of almost latches on with one hand to one of the stable rocks that are nearby and sort of reach out and grab the rock out of the air with the other hand. She's able to swing back in and safely get her point of contacts back. But yeah, she's able to catch the rock. But
Nice catch.
not because of a great throw, more so much as a good reaction.
Oh, come on. Everybody knows that Mendax is an acrobat, so I can throw it wherever and then she can show off.
That is very true.
Yes.
I will go ahead and just, I'll try to make this strength check as good as I can for you, Mendax. Don't mind a thing here. Yeah, absolutely. I'm an absolute boss at rolling, so that's a 17 plus 1. We're going to call that a nice 18, quick maths. As she brings the rock down and sort of in one fell swoop onto this larger red crystal that is sort of growing out of the side of the top of this mountain. And she's able to, after a hit or two, sort of splinter the crystal off from the side and grab it. A quick dexterity save to come back down, make sure there's no other problems. Yeah, it's Mendax rolling like fire tonight with a 19, or not dex save, but acrobatics plus 7, so 26. She is able to skillfully and very quickly, just as easily as she is able to get up, come back down, taking even shortcuts on the path back down that she kind of figured out as she was moving back up. So you guys have the 4th rock crystal. And it's all thanks to
Absolutely.
Mendax.
I look appraisingly and nod in approval as she moonwalks her way back down to us. I'm sure she's
Mendax
obviously
being-
very proud, and I'm sure she's gloating as well.
One of the most modest characters I've ever had in a D&D session. She very humbly accepts the gratitude and says it was nothing. No worry. And hands the crystal back to you guys. I'll stop controlling Mendax now. I'll just kind of tag her along. Yeah, you guys can do as you please. If you'd like to investigate around here more for any more beetles or crystals, whatever you'd like to do, you can head back to the boat. That's fine.
Honestly, Carl, I just want to know. You said you kind of enjoyed the beetle, but the rockfish, the beetle, how do they rank up?
The rockfish is a good bit better. I didn't really have enough of the beetle to say how good it was. I also had multiple rockfish, so I got a better sense of the range of this is a good one or this is a bad one. But I can definitely see how they like this here. Would be too bad.
Yes. It's actually, if we find another one scurrying about, I'll have to catch it for you. It really was quite delicious. I thought it would, be a little bit stranger when he split it open. Honestly, I thought lava was going to explode out of it, but turns out Stumpy's a man of fine taste.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you guys heading back down to the boat? Are you searching for more stuff? What's the plan?
Let's go to the boat. I've had enough of these damn mountains.
Indeed.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys head back down. Again, it takes you about the same amount of time this time to head back down as it did to come up the side of the mountain. But you successfully return to the boat. Stumpy again. Oh, any more beetles, Nigel?
Unfortunately, no. But we do find another crystal. So now on to baiting our lovely, friendly, and so described by your friends as docile magmalisk. I'm very curious for this upcoming encounter. I really do hope it is as friendly as you kind dwarves have made out.
Right. Where did they say we should go?
Apparently where there's the bubbles?
Yes, we're looking for the bubbles in the lava. That's, I guess, indicating where they're breathing beneath.
The bubbles, right. All right, I think, we'll head this way. And, he'll again detach the harpoon and set you guys off, and he steers you along a series of kind of more narrow passages, as you go in between some of the mountains. It never gets too narrow, but you definitely get a feeling of claustrophobia. You guys go through almost like a cave at one point, and it's a very interesting kind of effect with the boat going through, but the only light source being the lava itself. So very cool, kind of dazzling lights playing off of the lava in this cave. But yeah, he continues to steer you through, and you reach more of like a big opening area. Previously, you guys had been kind of maneuvering between mountains, almost like valleys, if you will. But this looks like a well and true portion of the quote-unquote lake, where there are not many mountains nearby in front of you. Behind you, there's quite a bit, but in front of you, the nearest mountain is quite off in the distance. And he'll continue to navigate the boat even for a while longer. Go ahead and give me a perception check out of you guys. We'll see just who notices it first.
14.
Lower than that. 11?
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
9.
sorry, 17 if it's plus 3. Yes.
Yeah, so Stumpy told you guys to be on the lookout for any of those bubbles they mentioned. Call is just the first one to notice it. And you see off into like an easterly direction that, yep, there are some what look like bubbles to you. And as Stumpy brings the boat closer, you can definitely see it's not like a pot of boiling water, but it's definitely a low simmer. You see activity underneath the surface. You see every now and again kind of the pop and explosion of one of the bubbles, rather. Can't even talk right now. As some of the lava kind of splashes into the air with every kind of pop, if you will. He says, that's bubbles if I've ever seen them.
Yes, this does look unusual relative to the rest of the lava. I believe if we set down the crystals here and just let them float, then the creature will surface and try to eat them, I guess?
How about we serve them one at a time? If it eats one and then it might eat them all suddenly and then disappear. So perhaps if we lure it with one and then after it eats it, drop another one and so on.
We could leave a cookie
guess we
trail.
could Yeah, a cookie trail. Are we going to jump on its back from out of the boat? Stumpy, have you ever been riding on a magmalisk before? Any suggestions?
Ha! Old Stumpy's never been on the top of a magmalisk before. But from what I've seen, they just throw these harpoons in its side and climb up.
And it doesn't get mad and fight back?
Not that I've ever heard of.
Holy...
I always drive the boat.
This thing must be even huger than I'd expected, if it can't feel the pain from a harpoon latching into it. My lord. Will you need our help to launch these harpoons, Stumpy?
Let's just take care of summoning it for now.
Oof.
Well, I might as well go for it. None of us know what to expect here. But this is what we have to do. I would like to take one of the crystals, give a look at Nigel, see if he's ready. Then I will... Is he ready?
He's gathering... I'll do what needs to be done, but honestly, I'm going to tuck my wand away very safely, as it's going to be absolutely no use in the coming situation. And I'm going to stretch and try to limber myself up a bit, because I feel like some gymnastics might be needed. I'm ready.
All right, let me stretch the shoulders and the arms a little bit. Try to get us all in the mood. This is going to be quite an ordeal. I would like to lean back and let out a good just, and then I will throw the, what's it called, the crystal into the lava where the bubbles are.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll say you guys have backed up a solid 10-15 feet or so. And yeah, you see the crystal hit the lava. It doesn't sink instantly. But the bubbles do begin to form more rapidly than they were before. Where it was a low simmer before, now it's maybe a little bit more of a boil. The crystal does turn an interesting shade of blue, surprisingly, as the heat sort of permeates the crystal as it becomes fully submerged in the lava. You can't see it afterwards, but after a moment or two, you do kind of feel a massive shift in the lava itself as sort of a rolling wave from underneath the lava begins to move. It rocks your boat to the side slightly, but you don't. It's not like a wave. You're not in like a danger of capsizing or anything like that. But you definitely felt something beneath the surface move in a big way.
But it hasn't emerged yet.
Nope.
I guess that's why they said we need 3 or 4. Ready for the second one?
Go for it.
Take the second one. Throw it in. Around the same spot.
Awesome. Yeah, you're able to hit very close to where you threw the first one. And a very similar effect. The bubbles now are much more of a rolling, or like a roiling boil, essentially. Lava begins to kind of like splat into the air as these bubbles are kind of compounding on each other and flicking these kind of globs of like molten rock out along the way. You can feel something again roll the surface of the lava as it almost makes like a movement towards the top. But this time the movement doesn't seem to be stopping. It's a constant kind of movement, but nothing has surfaced quite yet.
Nigel, do you want to throw in the next one?
Indeed. I'll take it, and I'm actually going to create a mage hand, and it's going to go. I'm going to go fishing, Carl. So I'm going to get the spectral hand to lower it into the lava, jiggle it, and then lift it out of the lava, and then rinse and repeat.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and lure it to the surface.
I dig it. Absolutely. So you try to entice it to surface. And after a few of those motions, you can definitely tell that something is extremely close to the surface as a big movement of lava displaces like a huge amount of the liquid. And you guys have to hang on to the side of the boat slightly. Let's see. I don't think you have to do any checks as mage hand. Hold on, let me take a look. No, you're not being attacked. You don't have to make any kind of concentration checks. But yeah, you guys are actually shifted back like another 5 to 8 feet or so. So now you're a total of like 23, 25 feet away from this thing. And suddenly the lava goes very still. The bubbles cease and the movement stops.
I will dispel my mage hand and drop the crystal.
Yeah, as the crystal hits the surface of the lava, you feel almost you sense it almost before you feel it. Something breach the surface of the lava, and basically what you see is almost this pillar of like a brick red and blackened scale as lava begins to drip off of essentially what can be described as like a giant serpent, which we have up on the screen for you guys there now. Sort of like this ebony white mixture of the horns from this giant kind of creature, as it consumes the crystal at the top of the surface and splashes back down. This one does cause a wave, and you guys are forced to hold on to the side of the boat. Stumpy kind of freaks out a little bit. I don't know if that's such a good idea, enticing it like that. And tries to steer the boat as best he can to keep you guys from capsizing. You're barely able to stay afloat as you guys feel as if you almost entered the lava there for a moment, flipped the boat. But as you come to and you feel stable in your surroundings, there's still rippling effects from the emergence of this creature, as in front of you now, sort of lazing on the surface of the lava, is this giant spined creature. Its scales are almost similar to that like rocky type of material that you found in the second volcano, sort of that clump of them, as this thing is like a mixture of brick red and like black onyx. There are spines and scales that kind of go down the back of it. As you can hear for a moment that crunch from what you can imagine is the crystal being shattered as it picks its massive head up. It looks as if this serpent it's essentially the size at full length now of one of these mountains. I mean, this thing is absolutely massive. Towers over your boat. You look like nothing but insects to this thing.
Holy shit, that is awesome! I had no idea it was something like this.
We're trying to harvest the ticks off the back of a god.
Do you see any of them?
You guys, we'll say that you start looking for the ticks. You can see what you think might be shapes kind of moving a bit on the back of it, but again, the lava is still kind of pouring off of the back. It's like forming into rocks and then being almost like shattered off as its entire body makes these wide movements. It looks like it's lazing on the surface, and it swings its head back and forth before it locks eyes on you guys. And you feel and hear the intake of a huge breath as if it's sniffing for something.
Nigel, I believe that we should not have the other crystal in the boat. It's just what my bird-bearing instincts are telling me.
Yes, it's looking at us and it's sniffing. Perhaps toss it into its mouth. Or closer to it.
Very good. I would like to take the crystal and give it a good toss toward this massive beast.
Absolutely. I mean, the full body of this thing, you can't see exactly how much extends down into the lava and behind it, really. You throw as hard as you can towards this thing, in almost in the opposite direction, so that it's kind of facing away from you guys as well. Yeah, you're able to chuck this crystal. I mean, it's fairly light, or it's fairly small, right, but pretty heavy. And you chuck this crystal like probably a solid 60 feet. Call is no wuss when it comes to strength checks. And it follows with just its eyes the crystal as it submerges and hits the lava, and it waits for a second before it dives down to kind of crash into the lava and consume this crystal until it turns blue. So it looks like it was waiting specifically for it to heat up enough. And with that, the magmalisk consumes the final crystal and now seems to be fairly docile. It seems to kind of just be chilling on the surface. Its head is raised once again into the air, and the lava is dripping off of its horn and face. And I think we'll go ahead and call this session for tonight there.
Well, it's been quite the journey. We'll see what happens with this massive beast. I'm excited to climb across the harpoon and risk our lives once again. For some people we haven't even met yet.
Well, I mean, it's a lifelong struggle learning to master the serpent. But in the next episode, we'll take it on.
I would like to turn over to Nigel and do a quick fist bump.
Yeah, very good job summoning over the magmalisk tonight, guys. You were successful in getting the crystals, finding some juicy morsels along the way in unexpected places, and summoning essentially what appears to be a god of a serpent. Well done. I don't know if that's great or if that's bad, but well done.
Well, you know, some people would be excited to be in the bathtub with me and Neuro, but, you know, Ash, she's just a bit frozen, a bit intimidated.
Yeah, unfortunately, with Ash losing the microphone connection and the looks like the webcam drop as well, had to continue that last section of this session without her, but luckily she didn't miss too much.
Mendax was so emotionally overridden with the loss of the halberd that she was at a loss for words for the remainder of the episode. But tune in. Either next Thursday or a bit later on, we will give you an update on Twitter. Visit the Discord. There's a Wayfarers channel where you have the character sheets pinned. You can post some memes. We already had some from this episode posted. And talk with the fam about what you think will happen and how we will manage to fuck up next. From all of us here at Wayfarers, thank you. And we'll see you next time.